Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So today we're going to be going about 90 minutes. I'm going to stay around for about an hour for a Q&A after. We're going to be really diving into a couple different topics. We're going to be talking about 12 plus credit lines you can get for your business, even as a startup, or even if you have challenge credits. So we're going to talk about a lot of different ways you can actually access real credit lines for your business, even if you're just getting started, even if you have credit issues, a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different options we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about well more than 12, but we'll dive into that as we go. And I'm also, as time permits, and with your permission, if I still have time left, we're going to dive into building business credit as well, because when it comes to getting revolving credit, well, business credit's a great way to go. It's one of the ways that you can get financing regardless of credit, regardless of cash flow, regardless of collateral. Even when you can't get loans, you can still get business credit. So we're going to spend some time diving into that topic as well. So I want to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Ty Crandall, and I've got about 17 years in financial experience. Ever since I got out of the military, I have been in financial services. So I've been doing this for quite a while on both the consumer and the commercial side. And I speak about business credit worldwide. I'm speaking all over the place. I'm actually headed to North Carolina next week. I have a convention in Orlando this week. I'm headed to LA the week after. So I've really kind of become known as an authority in the space of commercial credit, revolving credit for businesses. And so I'm really honored to have an opportunity to speak about this topic all over the world. And I've also authored two books, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded, which are the best-selling books on consumer and commercial credit that you'll find actually on Amazon. And as a result of all of this, especially the books being published, I'm really seen as an authority in the industry. So I'm in news stations and podcast and radio and TV, and I've been in Forbes and Entrepreneur, and a lot of different places. If you ever want to learn more about kind of our media exposure, you can go to our website, creditsuite.com, tap on the credibility tab, and you can look at in the press or the media page, and you can see a little bit more of where we've actually been featured in the interviews we've done. And I actually am honored enough to oversee the largest business credit partner division in the USA. So we've helped going on about 15,000 people build corporate credit at this point in just the last few years. And we actually have a partner division of a couple thousand partners that sell business credit and loans, and we handle all the servicing. So we handle all of the servicing and the support for their customers, and we also handle all the loan placement for their customers. So as a result of all this experience, we work with over 1,000 different lenders and a lot of programs that people just don't know about. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be diving into today. Now, to give you a little bit deeper dive, and I like to do this if I'm spending this much time in a webinar, because we're going to be here about 90 minutes. I also love hanging out, having fun with my family. It's probably the coolest thing that I'm doing when I'm not at work. I love what I do. I'm so passionate about different businesses, and I'm also passionate about helping businesses get money. But when I'm not working, I'm typically hanging with my family. And if anybody that follows me on Facebook or anything sees that I'm doing all kinds of crazy things, enjoying everything that Florida has to offer, especially flying. So just so you can get to know me a little bit, this is what I love to do. I love to get in a plane. I love to fly. I love to see the world from that perspective. And those of you that follow me on social media probably get a part of that experience as I share a lot of that. And here's just kind of a little bit of look into my life. This is my family, my daughter, Chanel, my son, Cash, my wife, Cassie. And then here's some of the cool, crazy stuff that I get a chance to do here from Florida, whether it be scuba diving or flying helicopters or hang gliders or airplanes or whatever it may be. So I don't tell you all of this for any other reason, just the fact that I want to make sure that that you learn a little bit about me, my experience, my knowledge that I have in the topic I'm going to talk about today, but also kind of see a little bit about what I'm involved with when I'm not here doing what I do. So look, a lot of people try to fail and get money for their business. And that's probably why a lot of you are here now, because what happens is a lot of people just don't think they can get money for a business. They try to go to their bank, and some of them don't even try, and then they don't think that there's a possibility that they can actually obtain money for the business. And this is because a lot of people don't realize that there's all these funding options out there that can work for them. They don't even know that all these funding options exist. A lot of the options we're going to talk about today, you've probably never even heard of before. Most people don't even know about. And the programs you do know about are typically the really high interest rate, really short-term loans that, maybe work for some purposes, but don't work for most of us. So I call this a cash access problem. There's actually plenty of lending sources out there that want to lend money. But that being said, the problem is that they don't actually, know how to get it. People want money, and then banks have it to lend, but people don't know that all these funding options are out there. And I know some of you are starting to type questions or comments now into the question. Angela, yes, I can see this, and I will answer all of your questions as we're done. So what we're going to do is we're going to go about 90 minutes. I want to respect everybody's time, and then as soon as we're done, I'll hang out for probably about another hour to just do a Q&A for those that may actually have questions. So a lot of people don't know that business credit even exists. A lot of people don't even know that business credit can be built regardless of personal credit quality as well. So they don't know that getting loans and getting credit lines has a lot to do with the quality of the business credit. So this is the problem with the banking system. Banks aren't allowed to tell you a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today. It's not that they're big and bad and mean. It's the fact that the front-end bankers don't know a lot of this information. And what they do know, they're not allowed to actually tell you as an applicant because they don't want to give you insider information that helps you get approved. We're the opposite. We think you should know how the whole system works, what these banks are looking at, what it takes to qualify, the programs that are out there. The more information you're armed with, the better you can find the right loan programs for yourself, the better you could build business credit, the better you could do these things that are causing most people to fail. And a lot of entrepreneurs' biggest mistake I see, they just don't know that you can get money based on a strength of some sort. They think you have to have good credit. They think you have to have cash flow and you have to have collateral. And there are loan options and credit lines if you do have those. And we'll start with some of those. We'll start with some of the harder to qualify and go all the way down to the ones that have no credit check and aren't based on all these factors that a lot of the more stringent loan and credit line requirements have. So look, if you're looking to start to grow a business and looking for money to do so, well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. For 90 minutes, all we're going to talk about is a ton of options that will work for you to do so. And if you're looking for really high limit accounts, especially on the corporate credit side that aren't linked to your social, that you can get regardless of personal credit, well, you're in the right place too. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the flip side of this too. I'm going to talk about credit lines that are available if you do have good credit, even as a startup. So you'll have both options. If you want to supply a personal guarantee, we'll talk about those. If you don't want to supply a personal guarantee, then you will not. Then we'll talk about those as well. Okay. And I have some people asking, is this live? Yes, actually, you're watching this live right now. And again, if you stick around for the Q&A, you'll see that we will answer your Q&A in real time. And just so you know, almost any of the 90-minute webinars we do are live. Now, our webinars that we typically do, that we used to do regular, we do them all on YouTube Live only. And then our webinars that you're actually seeing anywhere else, we are actually doing live for those of you asking. So if you're looking for the easiest and fastest way to get money, that's what we're going to talk about too. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence options where you don't even need to supply bank statements. They don't even do credit pulls. They're just looking at things like account receivables or bank account or your bank account management, automatically making immediate approval decisions where you're able to get money within hours nowadays due to technology. So we're going to talk about some of those things. And if you're looking for real credit lines, then we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about real credit lines where you could take the cash out, you could pay the lower interest rates, and you don't have to get these high rate, high risk, high interest rate loans that are out there today. So let's start by talking about what credit lines are. So when we talk about credit lines, also called lines of credit, sometimes abbreviated as an LLC, is an agreement between a bank, financial institution, for example, that establishes a maximum loan balance that a borrower can access. They give you an amount like a card. They give you the ability to use $50,000 on that, and you can use anywhere up to that $50,000, for example. Now, credit lines provide a lot of unique advantages, and the reason that most people want them is flexibility, because you're not usually paying interest on what you're not using. You can use the line, you can pay them back, you could use the line, you could pay it back down, you could reuse the line. So it gives you flexibility with your business. Unlike loans where you have to start making a payment on the loan even if you don't need the money, credit lines can sit there until you do need the money, not have to cost you any payment, and then be there readily available to use as you use them. And we have exactly this. For example, we have a $100,000 credit line. I'm going to teach you how to get the same credit line that we have. One of the ones that we have, and again, there was no credit check, and we use it sometimes we don't, but we never miss opportunities because we have a low interest rate credit line. We could use it any time. We pay it off and we reuse it. And I'm going to give you the exact same source and talk to you about how you can do the same today. Now, borrowers can use this line of credit and only pay on interest on what they use, unlike loans, like I said, where you're paying interest on the full amount borrowed. So this makes it nice because you can get these credit lines and and you could just have them there when you need the money. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make. They try to go get money when they need it, and then they look desperate because they have a bunch of inquiries on the credit report, they have utilization too high, and then banks don't want to lend. So you're always in a better financial position to get it when you don't need it or before you need it, and have it there accessible for you as time actually or the opportunities present themselves where you do need it. So credit lines can be reused. As we talked about, you acquire a balance, you pay down the balance, you reuse it. These are probably some of the biggest benefits of why people are using credit lines. Now, most are unsecured, okay, kind of similar to credit cards, but all of them aren't. We're going to talk about both today. We're going to talk about secure credit lines and unsecured. What's the difference? Secured means you're pledging some kind of collateral, and there's huge benefits there, because when you're pledging collateral, credit doesn't matter, cash flow doesn't matter, interest rates are super low, and we're going to talk about several of these options. But a lot of them are unsecured, which means even if you don't have anything you can use as collateral, you're still able to come in and you're still able to actually get approved. So credit lines are the most commonly requested loan type in the business world. These are what everybody wants to have, but the problem is they're also the hardest to get, and they're hard to find. A lot of people don't know, and some of the things we're going to talk about today, I'm going to introduce you to one source that offers them. You know, so for example, when we talk about things that are based on inventory or with no credit check, there are one individual source that even offer these kind of programs. So with the thousands and thousands of lenders, it's very, very, very common for you not to even know that a lot of these options exist out there, because in some cases, only 1, 2, or 3 lenders even offer the type of program that we're talking about. So they're so hard to find because they are so rare. So many are also very tough to qualify for. So a lot of them require good credit, good time in business, good financials, which means they want tax returns. The minute they want tax returns, you have to be in business 2 or 3 years for them to even work. Okay, a lot of them want collateral, good credit, and cash flow. A lot of the ones at the bank want you to have good personal credit, good business credit, and your bank credit needs to be good, which means you keep a bunch of money in the bank. So a lot of these are harder to qualify for, but there's also a lot of options out there that aren't hard to qualify for. You know, automation, artificial intelligence, technology has made these things easier because banks and or not banks as much, but alternative lenders are able to more quickly determine risk and qualification than ever before. And they're letting computers make lending decisions, which then can sometimes happen where you're able to get the money same day, or sometimes even within hours at very low interest rates. I mean, less than 5%. We're going to talk about some of those options today. So that gives you a little bit of background about the problems people are facing in getting the kind of money we're going to talk about today. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the kind of actual money that you're able to get, the different types of credit lines. And what we'll do is we'll jump in, we'll go through a bunch of different credit lines that work. We'll start with some of the more difficult to qualify for, but the ones that you're going to want to work up to. Even if you can't get them, that's okay. At least you know what you can work up to get long term, and you have a goal there. And then we're going to get to stuff that has no credit check and that doesn't require cash flow that startups can get. And then we'll jump into business credit as time permits as well, and give you that option, because that helps you get even better terms on the financing and helps you access even more money as well. So conventional credit lines, most credit line types that most people are familiar with come from banks. So when you think about a credit line, a lot of people try to go to their bank to get it. A conventional bank is like a Wells Fargo, Chase, Regions, Bank of America. These are the big banks that you're familiar with, that you see as you drive down the street. And that's where most people are familiar with getting credit lines. Now, the banks are basically offering credit lines through SBA. That's how it works. So whenever you go into a bank, you need to know that there's probably a 9.9 out of 10% chance that if you're getting a business loan or credit line, they're offering you an SBA loan or credit line product. And that's because SBA insures as much as 90% of the loan or credit line if you default. It's that simple. If a bank gives you 100 grand, SBA insures 90%, which means if you default and don't pay the 100 grand, SBA gives the bank 90 grand of the 100. Well, that's a pretty good deal. And it makes it so small of a risk for the bank to take that this is why banks are able to lend to businesses. Remember, banks focus on very conservative risk. They are government insured. The government requires they be very conservative on their lending. So business lending is inherently risky because a lot of businesses fail. We've all seen the failure statistics of businesses. So SBA comes in, and the SBA does not lend money. What SBA does is they insure the money that banks lend. So if you default, SBA basically takes the majority of the hit. And this makes it more possible then for you to come in and be able to actually get SBA loans. Okay, now these credit lines that are offered by SBA are the hardest to qualify for because you got to qualify for both. You have to meet the bank's underwriting guidelines. You also have to meet SBA's underwriting requirements as well, which makes them so difficult to qualify. And I know a lot of people are still pouring in. And if you're coming in right now, if you have questions, comments, I will get to every single one of them when I make it through. We're going to go about 90 minutes. When we're done, then I will sit around probably for an hour and make sure that every question for everybody that's here gets answered. And I also have some bonuses to talk to everybody about at the end as well. So if you're staying to the end, before the Q&A, you don't have to stay through the Q&A for the bonuses. We're going to talk about how to access bonuses as well. So I will make sure that your questions are answered, though, if you're just coming in and kind of typing some questions into the chat. So most banks offer SBA CAPLines, and this is what SBA or banks refer to the credit lines that they offer. And there's actually 5 types of these per SBA. The term CAPLines is the umbrella program under which SBA helps business owners meet short-term and cyclical working capital needs. Bottom line, SBA calls their credit lines cap lines. And what you need to know is that most cap lines can also be loans. You have a choice. You get approved, you can choose a loan, or you can choose a credit line, whichever makes it easier for you to actually access. And again, some questions coming in, a lot of the same thing. So let me tell you something I haven't said. Yes, if you stay through the 90 minutes today, you will learn how to access bonuses at the end, and we will send everybody that attends the 90-minute the playback to this webinar. So you could stop it, you could take pictures of the slides, you could do whatever you want to do as a playback. If you're staying through the 90 minutes, we'll send you the playback, and we'll also make sure that you have access and you know about how to access some bonuses at the end as well. That does not mean you have to stay for the Q&A, but if you stay for the 90 minutes, we will make sure that you get full access. So loan amounts start very small, like $5 grand, 25 grand, go up to about 5 million. And the loan qualifications are pretty much the same as with SBA, as they are with the banks. So let's talk about these 5 different cap lines that SBA offers. First, they have what's called a seasonal line. Now, these are advances against anticipated inventory and account receivable. So they're designed to help seasonal businesses, and you can get a loan or you can get it as a revolving credit line. So basically, if you have inventory, if you have account receivables, which are other business owners that owe you money, which, by the way, is one of the strongest assets you can have as a business. So if you're not letting your customers pay you through payments, you should consider it, because that's one of the biggest assets you have that banks love to see. So if you have inventory or account receivables and you're in a seasonal business, and a seasonal business means that, you know, sometimes you're busy during the season, sometimes you're not. So for example, if you are if you handle a ski shop in Washington State, well, then in the summer, you're probably not very busy because a lot of people aren't snow skiing in the summer. That's a seasonal business. You're only busy certain times of the year. So down here in Florida, for example, you know, scuba dive shops are not busy in the winter. That's a seasonal business. And so seasonal lines are designed to help those businesses get through those lower times in sales where a lot of customers aren't using the product or service because it's a seasonal business. Now, there are contract lines, and this finances the direct labor and material cost associated with performing assignable contracts. So if you're dealing in the construction industry, for example, and you have labor and material cost, well, contract lines help you finance the direct labor and material cost. Why is this important? So think about it. If you're a company that needs to produce a product and it takes labor and materials to produce the product, well, a contract line can help you get the money that you need to buy the materials, to pay for the labor, to produce the product, and then gives you the time to sell the product to actually get the money to pay back the financing. So this is perfect for anybody that, you know, has to produce a product and not get paid until the product is done, or sometimes even wait months after the product is done to actually get paid. Now, a builder's line is designed for general contractors or builders, and this finances direct labor and material cost. Building projects serves as collateral. There you go. If you're in the construction industry, then what happens is you need to pay the labor, the material costs, everything you need to build. But then you build the house, for example, and you don't get paid until the house is done and the house is sold to the new borrower and they pay you cash or they get a loan for it. So, how do you float all that money to be able to build the house if you don't actually have access to the money? Well, that's what builders lines are for. It gives you the money to get the general contractors, to get the to get the labor, to get the material costs covered, and then you can then sell the house, get the money, and use it to pay back the builder's line. Now, a standard asset-based line, and these are all cap lines from SBA, is for the financing for cyclical growth, recurring and/or short-term needs. So it's generally used by businesses that provide credit to other businesses, period. That's what it is. So if you're coming in and you're providing credit to other businesses, well, then this helps you kind of get through that period of where you're waiting to get paid back. So what these allow you to do is refine your business model. What you've learned is that, hey, man, if I accept payments from customers, then I can use that as an asset and get a credit line using that as an asset. If I'm in construction, there are specific lines for me. If I'm a seasonal business, there are things. If I'm in financials and I'm giving people credit, then there's options for you as well. And then there's the small asset baseline, very similar to the standard asset line, exactly the same. It's just the loans are smaller, up to 200 grand, and it's just easier to qualify for than the standard asset line. So some of these you're going to look at and go, not for me, not for me, not for me. No worries. We will talk about options that absolutely will work for you during our 90 minutes today. So I will talk about stuff, including business credit, that anybody can qualify for. So if these aren't a good fit for you, no worries. Like I said, we're going to start with some of the harder to qualify for, but most desired ones first. So to get approved, you're going to need good personal and business credit for SBA loans, not for any other products than the 5 I just told you about. So you're going to need good personal and business credit. SBA states that you should not have any blemishes on your credit report, which means your business credit and your personal credit needs to be really good. So if you have personal credit issues now, work on fixing them. We've got a great video on our YouTube channel. If you type in credit repair, that helps you through the steps of fixing your personal credit. If you don't have business credit, we'll talk to you about how to easily build business credit, because that opens up a bunch of funding options for you as well. You're going to need good bank credit. Now, if bank credit only ever matters if you're getting money from a big bank, a Wells Fargo, a Chase, a Bank of America. If you're getting money from an alternative lender like On Deck, bank credit doesn't matter. It only matters with the big bank. Bank credit is a bank credit score. You'll never know what your credit score is, but it's primarily based on how much money you keep in the bank. If you keep $10,000 in your business bank account over a 90-day time period, then that gives you a good bank credit score. Again, you might not be ready for this yet. That's okay. The goal here, starting with this product, is to teach you what you need to do to get to the top level. So as you're building the business and getting some of the easier financing we're going to talk about today, you know what you need to do to work up to get the harder to qualify, but best kind of financing that's out there, the stuff that gives you the most amount of money at the best terms. Now, business and personal collateral is going to be needed. Basically, you're going to need collateral to cover the debt. If you're getting a loan for $200,000 and you have $1 million in account receivables, you're not going to need to pledge personal collateral. But if you're getting a loan for $200,000 and you only have $100,000 in account receivables, well, then they're going to want other assets as well to offset the risk. They typically want assets to cover the loan amount, whether it be personal or business. So you're going to need collateral to get into these. You're also going to need resumes for everybody that owns more than 20% of the business, a business plan, 3 years financials, which is profit and loss statements and tax returns. So when I look at SBA loans, the way that I look at them is like this. There's a strength that you typically need to get a loan: credit, cash flow, or collateral. SBA is when you have all the strengths. It's when you have the collateral. It's when you have the cash flow per verifiable per your tax returns. It's where you have the good credit. When you do get to a point where you have all those, that's when SBA loans make sense. When you don't have those, that's when these start getting into these alternative financing options that work better, many of which even have better interest rates than you'll get with SBA. So alternative SBA credit lines are offered through private investors, alternative lenders. They're similar to SBA, but they have more lenient requirements. They're easier to qualify for than what you're typically going to find with SBA loans. Now, they don't require as much documentation as well. You don't need business plans in a lot of cases. You don't need, balance sheets. You don't need 3 years tax returns in a lot of cases to be able to get a proof of these. So their credit score requirements aren't as stringent. You can get them with, mid to high 600 score in some cases versus, 700 plus credit scores with SBA. So all the way around, they're easier to qualify for. Rates are pretty similar, 7%, about the same as SBA. Loan amounts range from $25,000 up into the millions, and they're typically based on your financials. Whatever your bank statements or tax returns are reflecting you're doing in revenue, they're basically going to lend enough where it makes sense that you can actually pay it back. So how much money you get really depends on the revenue you're dealing. So loan amounts are typically, again, based on revenues and or profits on tax returns. Very important. It's tax time. So what you need to know is that when it comes to tax returns open up a lot of options for you. You either show a couple grand in profit or loss. The difference in my world of lending money when it comes to somebody that shows a couple grand in profit versus a loss is substantial. The bottom line is if you show any kind of profit on your tax returns and have above average credit, 660, 680 score, you have a very good chance of getting alternative credit lines and loans. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that. Your accountant's going to tell you to write everything off and claim a loss. Okay. A lot of others are going to say you have to have excellent credit and tax returns that show all this money to get approved. It's not true. What they're looking for is, are you showing a profit? If you're making some money and showing some kind of profit, then that opens up a lot of lending options. And if you combine that with above average credit of 680, 660 type scores, that opens up a lot of these alternative SBA credit lines and loans. Now, again, sometimes lenders are going to want a year's tax return. Some will want 2. Some will want a P&L. Some may want income statements. But typically, they're going to want a profit and loss. They're going to want a year's worth of tax returns, and maybe more if you're asking for more money. So it's fairly easy to get these compared to SBA that wants 3 years of tax returns. And credit score requirements start at 620. I'm even going to talk to you about a credit line here a little bit later that with the 620 credit score, you can get approved. 1 year tax returns that show some kind of minimal profit, 620 credit score, you can get approved. There's even some where you don't need tax returns that we'll dive in and talk a little bit more about as well. So SBA credit lines, a absolute great way to go because, again, these alternative SBA credit lines, the rates are about the same. And they're offered through private investors and alternative lenders, and you don't have to qualify with the bank and SBA at the same time. So these are much easier to qualify for than SBA loans. Now, another type of credit line is called cash flow financing. So you're familiar with merchant cash advances. They become really popular. So nowadays, when you see loan offers on Facebook, almost guaranteed they are merchant cash advances. And the reason they become so popular is they're super simple to qualify. You give them 3 to 6 months bank statements. They don't really look at personal credit. And if you manage your bank account responsibly, you can get approved. It's as simple as that. What does that mean? It means if you have more money going in your bank account than going out, if you have some kind of positive ending bank balance every month, if you're not overdrawing your account with non-sufficient funds, you need to know that if you manage that bank account responsibly, it doesn't just open up this option, it opens up a lot of loan and credit line options. So if there's one thing you need to do as a business owner, it's manage your bank account responsibly. Don't get non-sufficient funds. Don't have them less money in the account in a month than you put in. Don't have negative balances. And if you do that, then you can easily get these kind of merchant cash advances. You know, if you have $10,000 a month in revenue and scores even above 500, well, then it opens up these kind of loans. And this is at this point loan, but I'll tie it into a credit line in just a second. So some sources have now even started to offer these as credit lines with their loans. So you get both. So what happens is when they started doing these loans, they found these other sources that would do what's called piggybacking, meaning that you would go get a loan through a bank like On Deck, let's say, and then somebody else would immediately solicit you and say, we want to give you a second loan. Well, some of these big banks have said, like On Deck as an example, have said, hey, listen, we don't want to do this. We don't want people to get second loans behind their first. So we'll give you a second. We're going to give you a loan. then we're going to give you a $25,000 credit line as well. And it's pretty cool because if you've got $10,000 a month in revenue, regardless of credit, some sources don't even have credit score requirements. Others go down to 500. You can get approved for this kind of financing. Okay, so it's a good way to go. And here's a client of ours that used part of that money. And basically, he needed 417 grand to pay off a tax lien. He was literally in the process of closing his practice. The IRS was going to close him down because he didn't have money to pay the tax lien. And he had credit issues. So what he did was he come in and we got multiple rounds of funding, including one of these credit lines, and then he used it to pay off the actual IRS. Now, even with credit issues, he actually's got so far over $1 million, $1.5 million, 1.5 and a little bit above that right now, even with credit issues, using some of these kind of options, including the one I just told you about with the alternative lending credit line. So very effective even when you have credit issues to get large amounts of money. How much money can you get? It depends on the revenue in your business. The more money that your business generates in revenue, the more money will be lent to you. And it's typically about 10 to 12% of whatever your annual sales are is what you'll get lent. But I'm going to show you a way here in a few minutes to get up to 30% of whatever your annual sales are. So cash flow financing credit line, as I mentioned, you're going to need about 10,000 per bank statements with this option, another option, possibly even some tax returns, 1 year of tax returns possibly. So it depends. If your time in business is good, if your bank account management's good, they're typically not going to ask for tax returns. But if your time in business isn't good and your personal credit's not good and your bank statements aren't great, well, then they may ask for these tax returns. Now, as I mentioned, about 20 to 25 grand is typical, and you need to be in business about 1 year to qualify for this. Now, you only need a 500 score for merchant cash advances. They like to see that you're going to have a little bit above a 600 score. But if you have other compensating factors, such as good bank account management or such as a better revenues coming in or better time in business, those things can offset this to get down into the 500s and still get this credit line. Now, these banks do review business credit. So one more reason you need to build business credit, because if you have stronger business credit, it kind of offsets your weaker personal credit. So you may come into this and only have a 580 score, but you have a handful of trades on your business credit reports that offsets that risk and still opens up the door for you to get this $25,000 credit line. And again, I've given you multiple ways to qualify. If you have credit issues, well, time in business can be a compensating factor. Business credit can be a compensating factor. If you don't have business credit, well, then personal credit quality can be a compensating factor. Bank account management can be a compensating factor. So when I say compensating factor, I mean, well, you have a weakness here, but then you have a strength over here. So that's what compensating factors are. The more strengths you have, the more lendable you are. What are strengths? Good bank account management, good time in business, better consumer credit scores, better business credit scores, tax returns to show profit. The more of these compensating factors you have, the easier it is to get money and the more money you'll typically get. But even with none of those, you're still able to qualify for a lot of these programs if you have a 620 score. And again, lower than that if you have some kind of other compensating factor. So AI, artificial intelligence credit line. So a lot of lenders are now offering instant approvals using AI. So what is AI? What we're talking about here is that you don't need to send 3 months or 6 months worth of bank statements in. What they do is they plug right into your bank account, for example, and the computers automate the underwriting approval based on going through your bank statements and looking through factors that I've already described. How is your bank account management? What do they look for? Here's what they look for. Do you have consistent deposits? Are your deposits sporadic where you get like 2 a month, or do you get them consistently? Again, how many deposits do you get on a regular basis? I mean, are you getting 2 or are you getting 100? So do you have consistent deposits? Do you have a volume of deposits? Are things they look for. Do you have positive ending bank balances? Do you have money left over at the end of the month? Do you put more money in than you pull out? Do you have a bunch of non-sufficient funds? Think of it like this. They're looking to see that you have extra money on hand to pay back your payments. If you are negative at the end of every month, well, how are you supposed to pay back a loan or a credit line payment if you don't even have enough money to pay your current bills? So that's the type of things that these systems are actually looking for. Okay. Now, They plug into your bank account, so you don't need to provide bank statements. And with this, you can get a credit line up to $150,000. And there's a couple of different places out there that do these kind of credit lines. One has a credit score requirement, one doesn't. So one source with this doesn't even have a credit check required. It's called Fundbox. And you can go right to our website, creditsuite.com/Fundbox, to access it. There's no credit check at all. Okay, the other one has a credit check, and they're looking for a 620 FICO score for approval. So a couple different options. Now, if you're willing to supply tax returns, then they'll typically give you smaller approvals. And then if you prove that you're managing the credit line responsibly or providing tax returns, then they'll even give you even more money. So a buddy of mine came into me and said, hey, look, I need $30,000. And what I want to do is I want to get one of those merchant cash advances because they're super simple to qualify. And I said, absolutely not. Based on what you just described, I'm not going to put you in a 30-40% interest rate loan. Why don't we try this credit line? He got approved for $6,000. He supplied tax returns and they bumped him immediately to 30. We have one of these credit lines as well. They started us at less than 10. We then supplied tax returns. They jumped us to 30. And then we used the credit line regularly and paid it back. We asked them again for an approval and they immediately bumped us from 30 to 100 with no credit check. Getting a $100,000 credit line with no credit check is crazy unless you built your business credit. Then it's more than possible. So again, this is a great way to go because there's no credit check required. You can get up to 150 grand. They're typically going to want you to be in business at least 3 months. And again, it's based on bank account management. As I already described what good bank account management is that they're looking for. So PayPal and Square approval. So you can get approved through PayPal and Square for really easy to qualify for loans and lines of credit. They're super simple to get and they're super cheap to get. So if you're not using PayPal and Square now to get money or to be able to deposit money, you need to. We use PayPal just because some people like to pay through PayPal, and because the more we put through PayPal, the more money they'll lend to us. And it's super easy to get, as you're about to learn. So get a Square account, get a PayPal account, and process some of your customers' payments through there because that opens up lending options and there's no credit check again. You can get up to $95,000 with the first loan with PayPal, and there's no credit check required whatsoever. They don't even pull your personal credit. So here's why I love this. You're going to learn here in a few minutes about credit lines that are based on consumer credit quality only. If you have better consumer credit, you can get them. But even one inquiry can cost you $25,000, $30,000 in funding. You need to pay very special attention to that because don't put inquiries on your personal credit any more than you absolutely have to, because there's a lot of financing that 1 or 2 or 3 inquiries can get you denied for financing. So you have to minimize the inquiries you put on your consumer credit, which is why building business credit becomes so important. So with these, I love them because there's no credit check required at all. So personal credit quality doesn't matter, but there's no inquiries on your personal credit report either. And you can get a loan for up to 30% of your overall deposits. That's 3 times more than these other type of financing. It's not offered through PayPal and Square. And they offer fixed fees of something like $500, so it's super cheap to get the money. And then they basically take a percentage of your future PayPal or Square sales to actually get paid back. That's how these loans actually, or how these credit lines and loans actually work. Now, another is called Securities Financing. And again, I know a lot of you are coming in. So if you're coming in and you're staying through to the end of the webinar here, which we're going to go about 90 minutes, we started at 5. We will talk to you about some bonuses, and you're also going to get a playback in case you missed the beginning part of this. So securities financing, this is where you use stocks, bonds, 401k, or IRA as collateral to be able to get financing. Now, you can also use a guarantor instead. So I tell you this because 75% of business owners that get money look at family and friends to be able to get it from. So if you go to a family member and say, I need 50 grand to start the business, that's a tough ask. But if you go to a family member and say, look, I need 50 grand to start a business, you cannot even give me a dime. We can use your stocks, bonds, 401k, or IRA as collateral, use that to borrow against to get low rate financing. And the only time they would ever be at risk would be if you default on the loan, and then or the loan or the credit line, then they would take back the stocks, bonds, 401k, whatever. But if you didn't default, well, then they would still earn interest on the stocks. They still keep the money invested in the same stocks. Nothing changes in their world beyond the fact that they're actually coming in and using that as collateral. So you can get 90% 50% of the value of a stock or bond, or you can get 100% of the value of a 401k or IRA. And you still earn the interest on the investments, and the rates are 5% or lower. And again, you can also come in and you can get loans or credit lines. So there's no credit requirements. There's no even credit check to get approved. There's no credit check. It's not based on cash flow. Startups can get this. All you need is a stocks, bonds, 401k, IRA, or a guarantor that has those, and you're able to come in and get approved. Now, a bonus is called an inventory credit line. And this is where you can use inventory you have on the shelves, borrow against the inventory, and get a credit line. Personal credit doesn't matter. Even startups can get it. So this means you could get money through other sources we'll talk about today, buy inventory, put the inventory on your shelf, then use the inventory as collateral to then get a credit line against the inventory. So if you're doing something like retail where you need inventory to sell, this is fantastic strategy. You can use one of the other options we talked about today to get the money to buy the inventory, put it on the shelves, then get an inventory credit line, borrowing against the credit line and having a working capital credit line for whatever you need. So it's a great way to go, and you could typically get approved for about 50% of the value of your inventory. So if your inventory is worth $600,000, then you can get $300,000 as a wildly crazy example. So really stocks, bonds, 401k, IRA, inventory. There's 5 other credit line options if you do have some kind of collateral such as stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, or inventory that could work. Now, most credit card companies offer business credit cards as well, including Capital One, Chase, American Express. Wells Fargo offers a business credit card that's even secure. Okay, these have rates similar to consumer credit cards, and limits are pretty similar as well. And some report to the consumer credit reporting agencies, some report to the business credit reporting agencies, and approval requirements are very similar to consumer credit cards that you're able to get as well. So don't forget about credit cards. Don't forget about Capital One and Chase and American Express and Bank of America. All of them offer credit cards that are not credit lines, which means you can't take the cash out of them at low interest rate like you can credit lines. But again, you still get the ability to get revolving credit through banks without actually having to go through SBA. And a Capital One Spark card is one of the perfect examples. Although it reports to consumer and business credit, it's fairly easy to get approved for. Wells Fargo has a secured credit card that reports to the business credit reporting agencies. And a lot of these are unsecured credit cards, so you don't even have to put down any kind of security deposit to get approved. Now, this is one of my favorites. It's called Unsecured Business Financing. Now, with this, you're basically working with a source that specializes in getting credit cards and getting credit lines. Very rare program. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's one of the most popular programs that we extend money through because startups can get it. Even as a brand new business, if you're just starting today, you can get up to $150,000 with this program. So you typically are going to get 5 to 8 times the amount of your highest credit limit account. So if you pull your consumer credit report and you see you have a credit card with the limit of $10,000, you could typically get 5 to 8 times that amount. So you could get $50,000 to $80,000, 5 to 8 times the highest limit account you have. But you have to be careful. Like I said, even one inquiry on your consumer credit report can cost you $25,000 in financing, and that's why you have to be so careful with not putting inquiries on your credit report. Now, loans range, or individual approvals on individual lines you get range from $2 to $50,000, but in total you can get up to $150,000 and get it at 0% financing for 6 to 18 months. I love this program for startups because there's nothing cheaper than 0% interest. So it keeps your payments low for 6 to typically 12 to 18 months, and then you also have these accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies. It's really brilliant because you can get up to $150,000 and you can get it as a startup. They report to the business credit reporting agency. So what that means is you're putting high limit revolving credit cards on your business credit reports, which opens up the door for you to get even more credit that's revolving without a personal guarantee as you're building the business credit. Now you get multiple credit lines. So it basically helps you get credit limit increases faster because everybody knows that the highest limit account you have is typically the card you keep in your wallet. So Bank of America sees that you just got a $10,000 line. It's easier to go to Chase in a couple months and get them to give you another $3,000. So your limit with them is 15 grand because they know the higher limit account you have, the better. And you're getting multiple credit lines with this program, so you're building multiple trades on your business credit report. That might not mean anything to you in this moment in time, but as I talk to you here in a few about building business credit, it really will make a big difference. And approvals are up to 150 grand with this program, and you could take the cash out. So unlike credit cards, you could take the cash out of these and still pay 0%. This is an insane program. It's a hybrid of credit cards where you can get 0% rate and credit lines where you could take all the cash out. It's the only program you'll ever see where you can get cash out at 0% interest. So it's really a great program because you get all the cash that you need at 0% financing. Now, you've got to have a 680 FICO for approval, but a guarantor can work. Family member, friend, colleague, anybody. So again, if you're going to dad and saying, Dad, look, I got a business idea I want to get off the ground. I need 20 grand to do it. And dad says, I ain't giving you 20 grand. Then say, well, look, can I use this program called Unsecured Business Financing? We could use your credit to qualify. And then what happens is the only reason that there's any risk to use if I default, the credit doesn't even report on your credit report, Dad. It reports on my business credit report. So I build my business credit up to help make it easier for me to get money in the future. And you are only at risk if I default, and you can get involved and do this to help me manage it. So it's easier to bring family, friends into it as guarantors. You can even give them a piece of equity or ownership in your company if you don't have the 680. Now you need to have 30% utilization or less than 6 inquiries. And again, they have a consumer credit card program that's easier to qualify. So if you have a 650 score, not 680, they'll do the exact same program. Everything I described to you is exactly the same, but they have cards that report on your consumer credit reports than your business. They'll still get you more money than you'll ever get on your own with consumer credit cards. But again, it's easier to qualify for than the business. A lot of our clients do both to get more money. So they'll say, I'll do consumer and business credit cards, and that's what will get you the most amount of money. It's very common to get 50 to 125 grand in funding with this program. You can get up to 150 grand, again, if you have more financing. And here's a couple approvals, one for 12, one for about 13.5, where this client's all total funding was about 61,400 in unsecured credit lines. And they just started their business. They're out of Bloomington, Illinois. So perfect example. So unsecured business credit. Now, business credit is credit that's in a business name. It's linked to the business's EIN number, not the Social Security number. So you're almost always going to have to provide a personal guarantee for most of the financing we've talked about so far, unless you have really well-established business credit, or unless you have collateral, 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds, inventory, that can get you around that as well. Business credit cards that are unsecured, that are linked to your EIN, is a whole different area we have yet to talk about. Now, when done properly, you can get this kind of business credit without a personal credit check and without a personal guarantee. And I'm going to show you here, with your permission, if we have time, I'll show you how our clients go through and do this. I'll show you the steps to do it, where you can get the credit without the guarantee and without the credit check. Now, you can get 3 types of credit cards with business credit. Vendor credit. These offer net 20, net 30, net 15 terms. They're not revolving. You have to pay them back in 20 or 30 days, for example. They're what you use to start building business credit if you can't qualify for those unsecured credit cards we talked about. They're store credit cards. Every store, retailer has them. Macy's, Nordstrom, Home Depot, Lowe's, Staples, Office Depot, Sam's Club, Costco, BP, Chevron, Sunoco, Walmart, Amazon, you name it, Dell, Apple, they all offer them. So there's those kind of store credit cards. Again, none of this requires a guarantee or credit check. Then there's cash credit. There's fleet credit. And this fleet credit is used for auto vehicle repairs and maintenance and fuel. And cash credit are Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express cards that you can get. None of this requires a personal guarantee or personal credit check. You can even get auto vehicle financing using business credit. So this is a great way to go if you don't have cash flow credit or collateral to be able to get approved. Now, here's some actual approvals here. And again, can you qualify? Anybody can get business credit regardless of cash flow credit or collateral. And you can see some of these options here. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to go through here really quick and just delete a couple of these because I put them in and I don't think you can properly see as a result of it. So let me delete this one, and I'll delete this one as well, and go to here. Okay, so business credit works for anybody. You don't need cash flow, you don't need collateral, you don't need good credit to get it. So here's somebody, for example, that got, you know, this is their 10th account, no PG. Here's somebody that got a $4,000 Chevron account. Here's a Staples account. Somebody got J.C. Penney. Here's somebody that got products using their vendor credit to get it. Here's somebody that got a $6,000 Amazon and a $10,000 Apple credit card using business credit. Here's somebody that got 12.5 with Apple through using business credit with no PG. Here's somebody here that got, after reading the book and listening to your webinar, just got $8,500 worth of B credit and not my social, so that's not linked to the social. Here's an Office Depot approval for $1,000 somebody got started with, another Office Depot. Here's a $2,000 Exxon account. Here's $17,000 Amazon account approved for $17K Amazon line of credit with no personal guarantee. So if you think about this, you know, what can't you buy at Amazon? You can buy furniture, you can buy desks, you can buy office supplies, most of the stuff you need. So here's somebody that's starting a process after attending the webinar that got $17,000 a line of credit with Amazon. Another J.C. Penney. Here's again $4,000 approval. You can see here with Fleet Courts, a fleet approval. Another $4,000 approval. Another $4,000 Amazon account. Here's a list of them. Somebody got Uline, Quill, Seton, Walmart, Amex, $2,000. Some of these have a PG, some don't. They're even telling you the one. Amazon line of credit, $2,000. Okay, still can't believe it. Mr. Ty, you were simply great. I appreciate that. I would like to say thank you. I have already received a $50,000 credit line with Pilot Flying J. So here's a Pilot Flying J approval for 50 grand. Here's somebody that got $7,000 in vendor credit. Here's somebody that used their vendor credit to get a printer for their business. And here's somebody else that they got what did they get? I'm not sure what approval this is here. I don't see the approval, but not sure. $4,000 in revolving credit with no PG with Amazon. Here's $1,600 approval here. Here's an Exxon account that you can see. No PG means no personal guarantee for $3,000. Here's an American Express card for $9,000. Here's somebody that got $7,200 approval through a fleet program. Another $20,000 American Express program. Here's a $50,000 line of credit that somebody actually was able to get here as well. Here's a Dell account with I think that's for 10 grand, it looks like there. Here's a racetrack account for $6,000. Here's a $7,200 fleet credit card approval. So again, now I did delete a couple of these. And here's somebody that just got a bunch of cards, and they're just showing a lot of their cards that they actually got here. And then there's another one I added too at the very end, and these were ones that I just saw today. So these are ones I just actually saw in our groups today of approvals where people are showing a lot of the different accounts that they're actually able to get. So a lot of benefits here with business credit. You know, it gives you a greater borrowing ability because you have consumer and commercial credit. The limits on business credit accounts are about 10 to 100 times higher than consumer credit. So you're looking at this going, man, these people are getting $600, $7,500, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 limits. How is it possible? Well, SBA says that the limits on commercial credit cards are 10 to 100 times higher. So this is really simple, easy, fast credit you can get with really high limits. And again, even when you can't get any of the credit lines I talked about, even when you can't get any kind of loan, even as a startup, regardless of credit quality, without collateral, you can still be able to get this. And the fact that you're building business credit gives you access to be able to get the money that you need to grow the business, because a lot of financing, as we've even talked about, is based on business credit as well. You can get business credit as long as you have a business in the U.S. You can get business credit for multiple businesses, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute. You can even get it as a nonprofit, and you don't have to buy trade lines. You don't have to buy shelf corps, all this crap that's out there for sale. You don't have to buy that to be able to get approved. Now, business credit's also going to determine in a lot of cases if you're going to get a loan, how much you'll get approved for, the terms that you'll pay. And you can be denied for a lot of financing without having business credit as well. So here's a look at some actual business credit reports. You know, part of the reason that so many people struggle to get credit lines through banks is because banks will issue you a failing credit score with no credit. So here's somebody that has a 28 score out of 100. So this is pretty bad. That would be the equivalent of a 500 FICO score for their business. But as you saw, they have no trade lines. It's all zero. They have no credit, but yet they're still coming in here and we're still seeing that they have failing credit scores. We can see the financial stability risk score, so you know what that is. This literally depicts your risk of filing bankruptcy in the next year. That's what the score means. Here it is. The score predicts the likelihood of financial stability risk within the next 12 months. It means you're going to go BK. And you can see here the reason is lack of active trades. They have no accounts, so they were given a failing score and almost as high a risk as you can get for filing for bankruptcy. So if you want to get a credit line, if you want to go to your bank to get a credit card and you're not able to, now you know why. It's because you typically will have failing scores once the reporting agencies know you exist. Now, even one account, and I'll show you how to do this with your permission here because I think we'll have time to do it. Even one account here will then take you all the way to a high score. So we can see somebody has a 96 score here, about as high as you can get. We can see they're extremely low risk. We can see the reason they even have any risk is that the one account they have is new, and that one account bumped them all the way to 96. Here, you can see what that looks like. They had that same 28 score, meaning they had no credit. They added the account, and they shot all the way up into the 90s where they are now with one account. Now, as you continue to grow business credit, what happens is you get higher approvals. So we saw this one, 28 score, $1,000 recommended credit, nothing on the credit report. Then we saw this, somebody that had a 96 score, which means they pay their bills as agreed, $2,500 recommendation of credit. Every credit report has a credit limit recommendation. So lenders and credit issuers lend you money based on this. So we can see here that even one trade bumped at 150% the recommendation of credit. Now here's somebody that's recommended for $6,900 and all they have is 2 trades. Here's somebody that's being recommended for $15,600 in credit. They have 3 trades. Here's somebody that's being recommended for almost $66,000 in financing. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 trade lines. A trade line is an account reporting on the business credit report. Notice accounts on your business credit reports don't say the name of the credit issuer, only the category or industry that they're in. Here's somebody that's being recommended for $724,000 in financing because they have about 15 accounts reporting. So here's what's cool about business credit. I just gave you the hack. What you need to do is the more accounts you build that report to the business credit reporting agencies, the higher the recommendation of credit, as I just showed you, you're looking at really business reports. And then that opens up the door for you to then be able to come in and get more financing. That's what gets you higher credit line limits. And it also comes in and it also gets you higher loan amounts. So we can see Facebook with 40 trades and Dell with 83 and Microsoft with 131 and Apple has 138 of these accounts reporting. So this is where people are deceived. They think these big companies get money because they're big. That's not the case. They're building business credit just like you are. And if you build business credit just like they do, then you can access the same kind of financing they have. They just have a lot more accounts than you do. The more accounts you get, the more money you get. Pilot Flying J with 153, they love business credit, which is why they lend $50,000 limits on weekly basis. Here's Publix, 171 trades. Here's Walmart, 513 trades. So 80% of what Walmart sells, they buy on business credit. They buy the stuff they put on the shelves using business credit. They take your money when you buy it and they pay back the business credit. But here's the flip side. Here's Mars Incorporated with 22 trades. They make Mars bars. Here's a client that built business credit for a few months, had 8 trades, a third as many as the Mars company has. Here's somebody that's built business credit for a handful of months, and they have 14 trade lines reporting. That is 70% as many trade lines as Mars company has, one of the biggest candy manufacturers in the country, and they just started building business credit less than a year ago. So any business can do exactly the same thing. You start following the right steps, you get the trades, then you start getting these high limit accounts I showed you, then you build a business credit report, then it gives you a greater ability to get credit lines and loans with higher amounts. And here's one of our clients as an example. We went to our bank to get a business line of credit. They turned us down. Got started with Credit Suite, set up our business credibly, and built our business credit. After following the steps, we've now secured over $96,000 in business credit cards, just applied for the Platinum Amex and just got approved instantly with no limit. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to give us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited. If you don't have business credit, you should get involved with Credit Suite to have the same results. Look, you either have bad credit or good credit. If you have bad personal credit, hopefully you've had good business credit, good personal credit in the past. You know how it is. When you have good personal credit, the credit card offers flood in. It's the exact same thing with business credit. Once you build business credit, commercial credit card options flood in. The difference is those commercial credit cards don't require personal credit checks or personal guarantees for approval. So here's one of our clients. Her name is Christine. She's going to be on a webinar with me next month. Here's some of her actual approvals. 2,000 with Sprint, 4,500 with Amazon, 5,000 with Tractor Supply, Exxon $5,000, Fuelman $6,000, BJ 7, BP 8, Lowe's 10, Apple 12.5, Shell 15, Office Depot 15, Sears 15, Costco 20, Best Buy 40, Dell 40, Ford, she got a Ford loan for 40, 75 grand for a roofing company in her local hometown. PNC Bank 100. She also got a 50,000 with PNC Bank as well. The higher limit PNC, they typically want to see tax returns. Under 50, they typically don't. So how much you get depends on whether or not you're going to want to supply those or not. 50,000 a week at Flying J. None of these require a personal guarantee or credit check. Here's a look at some of her credit. You can see, remember I showed you those trade lines earlier? Here's all those trades that you can see on her credit report. Here's her new business. Most of our clients that build a bunch of business credit start multiple businesses. She just started the second business. Here's the approvals on her second business. She just posted this March 20th, less than a month ago. Uline, Sprint, AT&T, Sunoco, Shell, Exxon Fleet, Venture Logic, Amazon, Supply Works, Tractor Supply. These are all with no guarantee, no credit check. Here's a little bit of, here's Christine, here's who she is. Here's a little bit about her story. She now has multiple businesses. And again, you'll learn more about her if you come on our webinar next month. Here's from her actual credit report. You can see here's one credit report showing 85 grand in available credit. Here's another credit report that she sent showing 80 grand. A lot of the other screenshots I had of credit reports didn't show. They weren't zoomed in enough for even show them. But there's a couple of looks. Here's one she just got March 14th for 10 grand. Fleet credit card. And again, here is a look at just some of her credit cards here. You can see. And as she says here, none of these without a PG. If for those who say business credit without a PG is not possible, these are a few, in quotes, of my cards. This does not include what I'm waiting for on to be shipped. Now that I have my other business as well. And her other business is the one that she got all these other approvals for. So again, I showed you a bunch of approvals. Here's more, 10 grand, 12 grand. These are all cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, Amex, 50 grand. Here's a 24 grand through Amex, 10 grand through Bank of America, Citi for 15, a Chase for 22 grand, a Chase for 10 grand, another Inc for 8, an Amex for 50. So again, that's kind of a walkthrough. Now I have some time left. So are you okay, if you don't mind? And again, I know you guys have a lot of questions. I will make sure that they're answered. I'm going to hang around here. We have about 30 minutes left. And I mapped out this time and timed it perfectly to be able to go through the steps of building business credit. If you're okay with me going through the steps, type in yes into the chat. That way I know it's cool. I don't want to take your time, but I tried to free up enough time here to make sure that you can see the steps that Thelma took and that all those people took. Okay, cool. So let me show you what they actually did. And there's two different benefits you're going to get in this. One, you'll see exactly the system they followed to get the results they got. And two, even if you don't follow the system and use the same technology platform they used, you'll still understand the basic steps to do this. So I'm going to walk through here. This is called our Business Finance Suite. This is the system our clients to use to build business credit. I'm going to go right here to our Business Credit Builder. Now, if you look at the Business Credit Builder, it's 7 steps to go through and succeed. The 7th step is cash credit. It's auto vehicle financing without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. We then break it down into sub-steps because business owners are busy. So you can have little wins and accomplish little things as time permits and still make pretty fast progress. You don't have to tackle big tasks to get it done. So the very first step with building that kind of business credit or getting any kind of loan or credit line is that you need to make sure you set up your business credibly. So whenever you apply for a credit card loan or credit line, they have an underwriting guideline, the underwriting guidelines that you must meet. Here's what those guidelines are. I'm going to tell you because banks won't. So they're going to want to see that you have a business name that's not in a high-risk industry. Now you can see our finance suite's really easy to go through. If you have a business name, you simply click yes, you do, and you move to the next step. If you don't, then you click no, and videos pop up here that teach you how to do it. And you can come and even switch down here. If you speak Spanish, you can even choose Spanish and change the entire system, all the videos and everything to Spanish. So in this case, if you don't have a business name, then you're going to want to stay away from restricted industries. Here's a list of restricted industries and high risk industries. This changes all the time and we update it all the time. So our clients don't choose names that reflect that they're in a high-risk industry. There's too many here to list. Contractors, dry cleaners, pawn shops are some of them. So choose a risk that doesn't show you're in financial services or in a high-risk industry. That can oftentimes automatically get you denied. You need to have a business address. Never use a P.O. box. Never use a UPS address. You need to come in and you need to make sure that you're using, one, a real physical business address, or two, the second option is to use a virtual address. And with a virtual address, that's something you can get from Alliance, Regis, etc., where you rent the mailbox address, but you don't physically get it. But again, you never want to use a P.O. box. And the third option is you want to use a home address. Okay, so if you, worst case scenario, you want to use a home address, but you need to know that nowadays home addresses will show Google images of your house on your commercial credit report. So if you don't want that, then you're going to need to stay away from those kind of addresses. So that's something to keep in mind. You need to set up a business entity. Any business entity can set up business credit. You want to try to choose a corporation or an LLC because that's how you truly separate your liability. You need to have an EIN number from the IRS. And again, if you're accessing something like the Finance Suite, it's just super simple to be able to come in and do. You just simply click no, you don't have an EIN, and we take you right to the IRS and help you get it without having to pay anything to be able to get it. You're going to need to have any business licenses that you need. You're going to want to set up a business bank account. Why? You don't need business bank account proof to get business credit, but what they ask for is they'll ask for bank references. You need to have a bank so you have bank references. Some business credit sources will ask for that, which is why you want to make sure that you have that as well. And then you need to set up your phone number, and you have to get your phone number listed with 411 as well. Now, we do that for our clients. It's not easy to do. You can't go to 411 to do it. You can use List Yourself to do it. They're about $400 a year. We do that for our clients. If you want it listed, you just say, yes, you want it listed. We ask you the phone number you want listed. We pay the $400. We get a discount because we do so much volume, but it's so important that you get your number listed with 411 that we just do it for our clients. So you've got to get the phone number. You got to get a toll-free number. It can't be a home phone. It can't be a mobile phone. It needs to be like a toll-free Ring Central or actual office line. Now, after you've set up the business credibly, the next thing you want to do is do a free search with the credit reporting agencies. You can go right to Experian, Equifax, and DMB directly, and you can do this free search, but you need to do a free search because remember how I showed you could be issued a failing credit score even if you have no credit? Well, you need to see if you have a failing credit score. So you need to do a free search with the reporting agencies. Again, we make that super simple. It's just one click to be able to do. But you can also do a little bit of research, go to Experian, DMB, and Equifax, and you can find places with them directly to do a check to see if they know anything about you now. And you're also going to want to get your DUNS number. Now, you got to be careful. DMB will try to charge you $800 to $2,000 for a program they call Credit Builder, which includes this. You don't necessarily need to pay for that. Depending on your scenario, in a lot of cases, a lot of our clients, none of our clients pay for this because we get it, the DUNS and get their credit profile activated without them paying. But keep in mind, DMB will try to sell you $800 to $2,000 for a package to get your DUNS and do a background check and all different types of things. Just keep in mind that could be a potential expense. We do all that for our clients so they don't have to pay that extra $2,000. But just keep in mind, your DUNS number is free, but they will call you and email you to try to sell you that package for a couple grand because they give a check, they activate your credit profile, they do a bunch of stuff. If you get the DUNS for free and you follow the steps I'm going to show you, you could actually activate your credit profile without doing that. Now, once you've done this, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get vendors. You can see here we have a lot of different vendors for our clients to actually choose from. Some of the most popular here are Quill and Uline. So vendors are credit issuers that, again, as I talked to you about, they'll give you those net 30 type of accounts. They report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies. So they help you build initial trade lines, which remember is an account reporting to the business credit reporting agencies. And then as those accounts report, that establishes a credit profile, it establishes a credit score, it activates your credit profile. And then in doing so, that's what helps you get to the next step of revolving credit, like I'm going to show you how to get right now. So you're going to be able to need to get about 5 of these type of vendor accounts. Quill is one, Uline is one, Granger is one. Wells Fargo has a secure credit card. Now you can see we just make it super simple for our clients. We tell you exactly what it takes to get approved and the description of each source and who they report to as well. And here's why. You don't need 5 accounts. You need what's called 5 payment experiences. And a payment experience is the account reporting of an account to a reporting agency. So we have vendors that report to 2 or 3 reporting agencies. And that means you can only get one of those accounts. It reports to all three and it counts as 3 trade lines. It just expedites the business credit building. So what I like to say is that we help clients take years of business credit building and condense it down then to only months. And we do so a few different ways. One, we list the underwriting guidelines. If you don't know a source like Quill requires you to spend $50, or that it may take 90 days for them to report the credit, or that you may need to prepay the purchases first to get approved, then you're just gonna have to do it through trial and error. So you got a couple options. I mean, if you're working with us, just faster, it's easier. You could try to do this on your own. It's just, you're going to understand that this is the frustration that will come with it, is every source is trial and error. We just make it easy by telling you this is exactly what you need to get approved. Here's what they sell. Here's who they report to. And in one click, they apply. And we gray out any accounts our clients can't qualify for. And we put this orange color here for people that can qualify. That way, you know you're going to get approved without even trying. And the next thing we do is we just tear it down too. So we also come through and we just tear it down into these tiers: round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. So you know the exact accounts to apply for. And that way you don't get denied. If you don't have that kind of access, you can go we have a bunch of free information out there. Just keep in mind, you're going to run into a bunch of bumps because you're not going to have those details on every source. You're going to have to kind of apply and see and see the result to know what you're going to be able to get approved for. The next thing you want to do is monitor them. Once you get 5 of these accounts, they're going to report to the reporting agencies. You're going to need to monitor your business credit reports. Now, we teach you how to read your credit reports because there's about 5 credit scores on every report. So you need to know how those credit scores are and how they work. So we go ahead and give you these overview of each credit report so you know how to read them. It's very important that you know how to read these credit reports. And then you also need to get credit monitoring. Credit monitoring with Dun & Bradstreet, you have to monitor Dun & Bradstreet. It is about $159 a month now is what they charge for. So if I say it's $159 a month, if we go to D&B's website here, we can see that it's $159 a month to monitor the business credit with D&B directly. And again, you can also, you're also going to need Experian. And Experian's a little cheaper. It's about $50 a month. So that's about $210 a month. And then Equifax is $20. You don't need Equifax because a lot don't report to Equifax, but you need D&B and Experian, and that's about $210 a month. Now, with our clients, they have a little bit of an advantage because what we have is we actually have credit monitoring that's built in right into our platform through what's called our NAV integration. And with our NAV integration, it's only $24 a month with D&B and Experian. So it just saves you that money. It saves you from having to pay that $210 a month. It's only $24 a month instead. So it saves you about $2,200. And we only give this to select clients, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute too. But Experian, you can see an overview of all your information. You can see factors influencing your score. This is a real credit report, by the way. This is Pixar. Just so you know, this is Pixar's credit report. And here's the actual trade lines that you have. So you can see the trade lines report on your business credit reports. Then you know you have the trades you need to move to the next step. You can look at all the accounts, specifically an overview. You can look at public filings, and you can get alerts too. So when things change on your reports, you can get them. You can do the same thing with D&B too. You see your score, you see all your business information, your summary, your lawsuits, your tax liens, everything you need, including the trade lines. And again, this is a cool option that a lot of our clients enjoy because it's $24 a month versus paying $210 that you'll pay with Experian and with D&B directly. And if you have any inaccuracies that you see on your business credit reports, you're going to want to do that directly. You can go to Experian, Equifax, and D&B. They have a process they'll walk you through. It's pretty simple with us. You just come into which credit report you want to update. You click on it. We take you right to where you need to dispute it and help you through the process of disputing it. Now, our clients don't do this on their own. They work with our advisors. Our advisors hold their hand and walk them through the entire process, just so they don't have to actually go through and do this anything on their own. Just keep in mind, if you're doing it on your own, it's going to take you more time. When you get stuck, you're not going to have a bunch of resources to rely on to get you unstuck. So we try to simplify it, but even as simple as we try to make it here, a lot of our clients need help, which is why we have chat, live chat. We also have phone and email support. And then we also call and email all of our clients. We call you, for example, 5 times the first 5 days you start with us, just to help you through the initial process, because we help you through step 1 and 2 and 3 right away in the first 5 days. Then you're moving pretty quick. So what happens after these accounts hit your business credit reports? Then you start moving to the good stuff, all the approvals that you just saw a bunch of. This is when you start getting Wawa and Writer. And just so you know, we just added 21 new sources. We have a whole data team that all they do is add more sources to our system. So all these 10 are brand new, for example. So you can see here, Wawa, Writer, 7-Eleven, JCPenney, Safety, Sheets, Meyer. And you can see we gray out what people won't qualify for to make it easy for them to know based on the trade lines they have. Amazon, Staples, Lowe's, Macy's, ABC, AutoZone. Now, again, all of these can be, you can secure all of these without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. And the same thing, we have a data team that they call and they spend 2 months verifying all the information. So you can click and apply in one click. The underwriting guidelines are listed. So you can also come in and you can see who it reports to and all that. So it helps you because you need 10 trade lines to move the next step. You can see that this one gives you 2. You can see that this one gives you 2. You can see this one gives you 2. So if you need Wawa, if you need a gas card, well, then you're better to come to Wawa and 7-Eleven than somebody else because they report to 2. We tell you the terms. We tell you, all the underwriting guidelines to get approved. So it just makes it super simple because whenever you need credit, you can come in, and as long as you followed the step-by-step, you're going to qualify. And we give you all these different ways: Royal Farms, MSN Industrial Supply. And again, if some of these are unfamiliar, if you're not familiar with what Royal Farms does, for example, that's the nice thing about listing exactly what they do. Since 1959, this is a go-to place for night and breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, dinner, gasoline. So it's so it gives you all the information you need on every source to come in. So there's Credit Shell, Staples, Office Depot, Tractor Supply, Walmart, Sears, Lowe's, Amazon. Amazon's one of the easiest accounts our clients get. We typically get approvals of 5 to 20 grand on Amazon fairly quickly, about 60 days into the process. So that should cover most of what you need to buy for the business to get it off the ground. And you continue to get more and more credit as you go. You continue to come in and get Dell and Racetrack and financing. We have 3 different ways you can get financing without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. These are Visa cards, MasterCards. You can get all different ones you could use at different sources. And then there's a lot of sources that don't report, but you still may want to use them. So for example, Northern Tool, AT&T, you can get all kinds of phone. You can get your cell phones without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, auto vehicle financing, and there's loans in here as well. Fundbox and loans that you can actually get in here are available as well. Now, speaking of loans, we actually have something else in here called Finance My Business. We work with over 1,000 lenders, every legitimate credit line and loan, including all the ones I talked about today, and a lot more available here too. So here's that unsecured financing we talked about. Here's that revenue financing we talked about. Here's that alternative financing through private investors we talked about. Here's that 401k financing, account receivables, purchase order financing, real estate financing. We have house flipper financing. House flipper financing is where you can actually come in and get money to flip homes, for example. So we work with over 1,000 alternative lenders, private investors. We even have SBA loans, so you never need to look for loans. We have a finance team of finance officers and processors. So whenever you need money, we get you with your finance officer. They develop a blueprint of the money you can get now. They help you get the next steps done so you can get more money, which more money goes through term loans and lines of credit. And then we help you get to the end or graduate to the end of SBA loans. So we help get you all the money you can get now. We develop a blueprint of what you need to do to get to the next level. Then we help you escalate and get all the way to SBA loans as well. And there's all kinds of cool stuff here too. There's a whole partner program where you can offer business credit and financing as a program, which I don't have a bunch of time to go through all that today, but you can see that we give you all the marketing resources, the ebooks, everything you need to actually successfully offer business credit and financing. We give you all the training to do that, to train your sales reps, to make business credit financing a business. If you're already in a financial services, for example, it makes perfect sense to do this as a business. Even if you're not doing this as a business, which we give you all the training and everything you need to do so, you can at least get valuations as part of the finance suite too. So if you ever want to know how much your business is worth, it costs a couple grand to do valuations conservatively. You just click business valuation. And then what happens is it opens up, when you click this buttons, it opens up this screen. You enter some information in about your business, and you can see at the top in real time, it calculates how much your actual business is worth, which is pretty cool. You don't actually ever have to pay to see how much your business is worth. You can see it at any time. Now, you can pay like like $600 and get a full 30-page report on how much your business is worth. And I'll tell you how to get that for free in a minute. But you can calculate and see how much your business is worth at any time too. Because if you're getting money to grow your business, more than likely you're going to want to know how much your business is worth. So again, here's one of our clients that actually went through. I'm looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business after failing to get approved for loans with several banks. I discovered Credit Suite after getting initial vendor accounts, which I showed you how to do that. I continued applying and getting all types of credit. Now have over 100 business credit cards in my wallets, over 1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuel, cash credit for most major banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I secured almost all of this without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. And I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal, Cabbage, with low rates and loan amounts of 100 grand. We do case study reviews with clients like this, and we send them to our clients where they can actually watch videos to watch the exact process that each one of these people went through and how much money they got along the way. And of course, here's 2 images of Marlon physically showing a lot of the cards that he got. So we've got about 10 minutes to wrap up. If you like that, if that makes sense, if you look at something like the Finance Suite and say, well, that would be an easier way because it gives you access to all the financing and all the credit you need in one place. That's exactly what it does. You know, if you're watching this webinar because on the computer, phone, or tablet, because you probably are looking for the easiest and fastest way to get money to actually grow your business, and you probably already struggled to be able to get money on your own, which is probably why you're here. So it might make sense. I mean, you've learned a lot along the way here that I think can help you be able to get financing and be able to get business credit, even if you're doing it on your own. But if you're interested in the shortcut, if you're interested in taking years of business credit building and condensing it to months, or you're interested in getting all financing in one place so you don't have to do it, well, then we might be a good fit for you. Our Finance Suite might be the perfect solution that works for you, because you get business credit that's linked to your EIN, not your social, through the top-rated business credit system. We've helped over 15,000 people build business credit. You get access to all loans and credit lines in one place as well. You could build business credit in English or in Spanish as well. Okay, so that's another benefit if you do speak multiple languages. And by the way, even if you don't, if you're offering business credit financing as a service, it gives you the ability to market bilingual for you to actually come in and market to the Spanish or sell to the Spanish market. So you're getting basically everything you saw. Our cutting edge technology to walk you through everything with credibility before you apply. So we help you set up your business name and avoid high risk industries, set up your entity and your EIN, set up your business credibility. We get you your phone number listed with 411 for free. You cannot do it with 411 direct. You have to use a service like List Yourself. It's $360 a year. We pay that for our clients. We set up your website, your email credibly to meet lenders and credit issuer compliance. Licensing, we make sure that all your stuff is listed congruent online. You saw the testimonial from the samples where they got denied at their bank. The rest of that story is that the reason they got denied at their bank is we do 3 searches to make sure that the address that you use on your application for credit's the same as it is online. We found a mismatch. Their address didn't match one of the sources their bank was checking online. We fixed that mismatch, and they walked into the exact same bank and got approved. So again, by coming through and doing this licensing and online listing for compliance, we make sure that you're basically lendable. We help you set up your bank account, know how the bank rating works, get the bank references, merchant account. You get set up with all 3 reporting agencies, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. We help you get the DUNS number without spending the $800 to $2,000 they charge. Fix inaccuracies in one click, as you saw, which makes it really easy. There's the largest supply of vendors. The hardest part about starting to build business credit is you don't have access to the vendors because you don't know where they are or who they are. We help people get in the business of reporting to the business credit reporting agencies. So our clients have access to vendors for SEO, for websites, to buy marketing resources, to get phone service. Our phone service provider is $24 a month to get a virtual phone, and they automatically put a $7,500 credit line on your actual business credit report. So those are exclusive vendors that most don't even know of, because we actually help a lot of them get into business or reporting. You saw a bunch of the store credit, the largest supply of those. You're going to get the cash credit, the Visa cards, the Master, the E-card, the American Express. I showed you real approvals of those. Fleet credit, auto vehicle financing. None of this requires a personal guarantee or personal credit check. Then all the loans we talked about, cash flow financing, loans and credit lines with no consumer credit requirements, asset-based financing, stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, inventory financing, all that type of financing, even with rates lower than 2%. 0% financing on the unsecured financing program, private money, alternative SBA, venture capital money as well, term loans, lines of credit. You're getting that cash flow financing is if you are interested in selling business credit as a service, I'll stay and go through that with the Q&A part because I don't have time now. We give you basically a business in a box. It's like having your own franchise without paying any kind of franchise fee. You're getting sales scripts, seminar details, 8-page website, press releases, videos, social media posts, email posts, ebooks, PowerPoints, webinars. I'll show every bit of this to you through the Q&A. It's just a lot of people might not be interested in our partner program, and I don't want you to stick around for that if you don't have to. You're getting articles, everything in Spanish, finance training, finance videos, flyers. We help close your first sales for you. We have training for your sales rep, manage your clients, get your clients funding without them paying anything, and you earn money commissions on the funding that they actually get as well. So look, you've got a lot of info out of this. You can go about this on your own. You can go through the process of building business credit. Of course, like doing anything on your own, you're not going to get as good of results as if you work with an expert, and you won't get as much money, but you could definitely go through the process, take more time, and get some kind of results. If you want to work with our advisor team hand in hand, and if you want to work with our technology, I'll show you here in a second how to even do that without it being less money than you're going to pay to do it on your own. But the also nice thing is that all the loans we talked about today, the credit lines, we talked about over 20 different credit lines. We have access to every one of those. We actually have access to over 4750 programs right now through over 1,000 lenders. So you never need to look for money again. It's all in one place. So you don't have to struggle to get the money that you need because you have finance officers and processors and business advisors and everybody that helps you through this process. So if you are interested in working with us direct instead of going about this on your own, then I've got something pretty cool because you took the time to attend the webinar, and I also have some special bonuses that I told you about as well. And for that, our top plan, if you look at our website, creditsuite.com, is over $7,000. It's about $7,100 with our top plan with payments if you're getting started. And what I'm going to show you today is only valid for the webinar, and I'm going to give you a deadline of when that expires. And there's two options you can get. One, you just get business credit financing. It's called our core program. You get business credit, you get financing, you work with our advisors hand in hand, you get our technology, everything you need to do it on your own. It's 7 payments of $497, 1 payment of $24.97. And again, don't let money be a barrier. We will work with you on payments. If that's not affordable, then work with it. We'll work with you on payments. We've got options we don't even put on our website, which are much more affordable, and I'll teach you how to access those in just a second. Option 2 is you want to offer business credit financing as a company, as a product, as a service. You want to get credit and loans for your business. You also want to offer credit and loans to other people and make a business out of it. Why does this matter? Do you know 2 business owners that want money? If the answer is yes, then by you making 2 sales, you pay for your own enrollment with the sales you make, and you make a profit. If you are selling cookies, then you're probably not dealing with business owners all the time. It might not make sense to you, but if it does, then 7 payments of $597 or 1 payment of $34.97, you basically get started. Our clients average $2,500 to $3,000 in profit per sale. So if you make even 1 finance suite sale, you basically cover your enrollment. If you make 2 finance suite sales, you cover your enrollment and then some. And just so you know, I literally just talked to one of our clients who was buying 25 enrollments when I talked to him, and we were working out putting together the order form for him. So that's how much volume they're actually selling. So a lot of our clients make $1 million plus a year. But again, the results you get vary from person to person. So it's typically going to take about 18 to 24 months to do this on your own. You can do it with us in only about 6 months, so it saves you a ton of time. So if your time's valuable, that makes sense. You have to ask, how much can that extra 18 months, how much money can you make, or how much money will it cost you not having access to that money? And don't forget, you're going to pay a lot more with credit monitoring, getting your DUNS, getting your 411, getting business valuations. So it's actually cheaper to work with us than trying to do it on your own as well. And don't forget, we'll customize a payment plan for you. We have something called Fundbox Pay, where it's even a couple $100 a month if we can get you approved through them. And they'll actually fund you as well. And then we also deal with business loans and credit lines. So we can even get you the money to enroll. So look, if you say, look, Ty, this is great, I want to do this on my own. You gave me a bunch of information. I appreciate it. Thanks. Then that's awesome. Great. Go for it. We help a lot of people succeed on their own. But if it makes sense for you to work with us, then don't let money be a barrier. We will work with you on payments. We have funding options that make payments super affordable. We can get you loans and credit lines to get started. And don't forget, as I'm about to show you, it's cheaper to be able to do it with us than without us. So you're getting full access to everything. Even if you make your first payment, we know you're going to love working with us. So we give you access to your own finance suite, your business advisors. You get 5 calls the first day, everything, or 5 calls the first 5 days. And even with your first payment, because we know you're going to love it, we're that confident. And if you don't, then we'll talk a little bit more about a guarantee as well. So if you're going to get started, it's basically at creditsuite.com/webinar, which I'll show you in a minute. And again, you can get immediately, when you get started, you immediately get your login credentials and everything you need to log into your finance suite. And I've got 4 bonuses as well. 30-minute initial consultation with our advising team. Our advisors have helped over 15,000 people build business credit. They'll answer any questions you have and sit with you for 30 minutes, even more. If you want 60, then we'll give you 60 minutes. Well, our goal is to walk you through step 1, 2, and 3 on our first phone call. Credit monitoring. Again, I told you we don't give that to anybody. I'm including that here. So you're getting credit monitoring for $24 a month. This is the cheapest anywhere. You cannot get this anywhere other than the 24 bucks. Then with us for 24 bucks. It's $2,200 a year more. And you have to have credit monitoring. So the credit monitoring savings alone is the same amount you're going to pay to work with us. Okay, we're getting you the free business evaluation. I'm putting $997 value. You'll see that most valuations are $2,000. You can get them anytime you want, and we're giving you a full 30-page business evaluation report as well. And I'm going to give you my book. I'm a best-selling author. I'm going to give you the book so you can actually publish it in your name to become a published author, which will give you a ton of credibility, especially if you're getting into business to sell business credit financing. And look, if you don't think it's worth every penny of what you paid, or you don't think you're going to make your money back with it on the partner program, we give you your money back. Guys, look, if you look at our reputation, it speaks for itself. We've never had a complaint with the BBB. We've never had a client complain anywhere online. We have one crazy dude on Ripoff Report that demanded our services for free. He was never a client. In exchange for a testimonial, we told him we didn't pay for testimonials, and he gave us a bad rating. It is what it is. Guy wasn't even a client. He even said he wasn't a client. We've never had a client complain. We've helped 15,000 people, and we've never had an online complaint. Why? Because we get results. We get them quick, and that's what we believe in, is fast results, and we give you your money back. If you're not happy, boom, here's 100% of your money back. We do not want clients to stay with us if you do not want to be here. Building business credit is a process. If you follow our steps, we'll help you get ridiculous results quickly. But if you don't, and you're resisting and you don't want to be here, well, then here's your money back. Go on your way. We have too many people that are serious about succeeding to have the people here that aren't. And that's why we don't have any kind of complaints, because we do what we do. We get good results very quick. And the people that aren't happy, boom, we send them on their way. Here's your money back. So with 30-day money back guarantee. So to recap, your own finance suite, 24/7 access. It's mobile friendly. You can access it on any mobile devices. Concierge advising, business credit building support. You can get the free DUNS, which saves you $1,500 a year, and the credit profile activation with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. I didn't show you the Experian Smart Business Access, but you can access Experian Smart Business data where you can see how many trade lines you have for $600, which saves you $600 a year. The largest supply of starter vendors, the largest supply of revolving credit, the unsecured financing, the finance officer support, the free 411 listing, the Visa cards, the MasterCards, the Amex cards that nobody can access because they can't find them, the fixing inaccuracies with all 3 reporting agencies, fleet credit for auto vehicle repairs, maintenance, auto vehicle financing. We have 3 lenders that do auto vehicle financing without a personal guarantee or credit check. The credit monitoring for only $24 a month, which saves you $2,200 a year, is what it actually will save you. Cash flow financing, collateral-based financing. And with our partner program, we give you the training, the contracts, the scripts, the website, the press releases, the PowerPoints, the ebooks and emails, and everything you need to market in English and Spanish as part of our partner program too. And I'll walk through that with the Q&A. And don't forget the bonuses, 30 to 60-minute consultation with our advisors. Our goal is to walk you through step 1 and 3 on that one call. So then all you're doing is you get credit on the first call, and then you wait for it to report, which takes about 30 days. And then 30 to 60 days, as those accounts start to report, you're moving to store credit. It's that simple. And Amazon is one of the first store credit cards we saw. You saw about 5 approvals from people from Amazon, ranging from $4,000 to $18,000. Dun & Bradstreet credit monitoring, again, which saves you the $2,200. The business valuation, anytime you want to know how much your business is worth, the first time you do it, you get a 30-page report. And we're also giving you a ready-to-publish book so you can become a published author. 30-day money-back guarantee. Any reason, no questions asked. Here's your money back if you're not happy. And again, We report your payments to Credit Safe. So by paying payments to us, we even help you build business credit. Credit Safe is one of the biggest business credit reporting agencies beyond Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. We help you get your trade line just by making payments to us. And that counts as a high limit trade line on your business credit report. And again, to get started, you go to creditsuite.com/webinar. That's where you actually go. And if you go there, here's what it looks like. You can see there's a countdown timer I'm going to give you through Friday at midnight to be able to go. And we don't expect you just to get started. I'm going to answer about an hour's worth of questions here. And then I will also make sure that our team reaches out to answer questions you have. Here's our core package as we talked about. It's usually $29.97 with no bonuses. It's only $24.97. It's usually $5.97 a month. It's only $4.97 as part of the webinar special. Here are the bonuses. Our VIP program is where you want to sell business credit financing as a service. Here's everything. If you can hover your mouse to see specifics, but I've already shown you a lot, and I'll show you more during the Q&A. And then it's $39.97. It's $34.97 as part of the webinar. Or 7 payments of $6.97, or you can get it for $5.97. You're actually able to come in and get that. So again, guys, just so you know, we don't discount. We only through webinars, and we do one special, maybe two specials a year where we offer any kind of discount. The discount's usually what I'm offering you now. We don't discount because nobody has what we have. We're the only ones in the entire world that have a system that builds business credit and financing in one. And there's a reason for that, because many patents and things like that are involved in what we have. And we have the only software solution that's a step-by-step system that helps you build business credit, like we have with the data team, only full service business credit coaching team in the country, only place where you can access all lenders in one place, 1,000 lenders. So bottom line is we're a one-stop shop for money, and nobody else does that. Nobody offers business credit and financing in the same place. Nobody gives you the technology that we give you and advising support. So we just don't usually discount at all because we don't need to. But you hung out with me for 90 minutes, so I think it's worth it. So if you hung out with us so far, I'm going to make sure that you get a copy of the actual webinar as a playback. And also, I'm going to hang around here for another hour. You don't have to hang around for the Q&A to get the playback. But I am going to make sure that all the questions that you have are answered, and I'll go through and show you anything that you have as well. So whether it's working with us or whether it's anything in general, I just want to make sure that all of your actual questions are answered. So let's go to the top. Okay. Hello, Mr. Crandall. I just got on the webinar call just a moment ago. So far, I'm following along. If any point during the webinar call, not asking questions about the program. Yes. So yes, we had talked about that. We're going to jump into questions right now. Will you be sending a copy of a webinar? We talked about that. Won't be able to attend the whole meeting. Again, if you were here, you will get a copy of it, and it looks like you still are. Is it possible to get a copy of the slides? No, we don't give out the slides because those go to our partners. Our partners have access to all slides in their back office, and because there's things like that we give our partners access to. So for example, here's a look at our actual back office, and in partner resources and our resource library, we have a ton of PowerPoints. If you've ever seen me on YouTube, every single webinar I do on YouTube, we actually have available in our back office. So all the webinars that I actually do in YouTube, I'm coming in and you're getting access to as well in our back office, and you're actually able to get the seminars that I do here too. So because we give those resources, and it's actually right here, my internet's running a little slow, marketing seminars, right here is where this PowerPoint is. So we actually give that access to our partners. So we don't give out stuff to non-partners just because our partners are actually paying to get that access. And then every single webinar we do, we have those PowerPoints as well. So all the webinars that you see me do on YouTube, our partners have access to before I even do the YouTube video. So hopefully that answers that question. And I'm going to, okay, so I would like to know, okay. I do not know how to save this webinar on my phone. I don't think you could save it on the phone, but you did attend, so we will make sure that you have access to it. Okay, so don't worry about that. If that's the case, then you have nothing to worry about, because we will make sure that you have access. I thought you were going to show us pending sources. I think we did, but if I didn't, go ahead and clarify, and I will make sure that that question is answered. Regarding the business address, when applying to the EIN online, the fine print shows that even virtual addresses will get automatically rejected. Yeah, you can use any address for the EIN. The EIN address that you use doesn't really matter. What you put with the Secretary of State does matter. So you can use a virtual address for everything other than your EIN, which is fine. And then just make sure you use the virtual address with the Secretary of State. That's what matters. Oh, the DUNS, absolutely. We have a lot of clients that succeed using virtual addresses for the DUNS. Dun & Bradstreet even promotes virtual addresses. What Dun & Bradstreet will not let you do is access a PO box or a UPS address. So a lot of people use places like iPostal and they think they're virtual addresses when they're really PO box addresses, and then they get denied through Dun & Bradstreet. And when they go get a real virtual address, they are able to get approved. So again, we can help you through that process, but you just can't use PO box or UPS address. I have 3 businesses. Would I have to sign up for the service? No, you don't. You shouldn't. You saw a lot of examples here along the way. The samples who got 96 grand and got the Amex, they started multiple businesses. Christine now has multiple businesses. Almost every one of our clients that goes through and starts getting approvals opens up multiple businesses and follows our exact same formula and steps to do it with multiple businesses. So no, you can only enter one business's information at a time, but you can follow the steps for multiple businesses. And that, how do I sign up? creditsuite.com/webinar. Do not go to any other link because you'll pay more money. You can go to creditsuite.com/pricing. You'll see our normal pricing. We only have one special page. It's at creditsuite.com/webinar. Friday at midnight, that page goes down and offer expired goes on the door. And then that's gone. So creditsuite.com/webinar to get the special pricing. You showed us a place to click on your program, but didn't tell us the name of the source like you promised. I'm not sure which source you're talking about. So Ernesto, type in again and let me know. I think I did tell you the source. We talked about Fundbox being the source that will give you the ability to get the credit line with no personal credit check. I think that's the only source I told you. We looked at a bunch of sources when we actually looked through the finance suite, and you can get the Fundbox at creditsuite.com/Fundbox. We already went through the enrollment. How does it affect my credit to have these cards and not use them? Well, business credit cards, the business credit reports show the recent amount of credit you've used. So, you want to use them because that'll show blank if you're not using them. So you want to try to use your business credit cards because that's what will help get you more credit and higher limits, but you don't necessarily have to. Can this webinar be emailed? Yes. If you attended through the whole thing up to this point, then it will already be emailed to you. It will probably be emailed tomorrow. It will probably be emailed tomorrow. Okay. And you can enter your email in here, but that's not going to be able to help. Is real estate an industry considered high risk? It is, but we help a lot of people get financing for real estate. We have financing specific to real estate industry. And then we also have business credit, which works for anybody as well. So I hear all these options available. What are the options for the startups that don't have any more to afford your finance suite? You could build business credit is a great option we talked about. 401k, securities, stocks, bonds, IRA, any of that kind of financing works for startups. Inventory financing works for startups. We talked about unsecured financing, which works for startups as well. The creditsuite.com/Fundbox that has no credit check, that's not if you just started, but if you've been in business even 3 months, that works. PayPal Square options work. Most of the options I've given you will work for startups, except for the ones that I specifically talked about that are based on revenue. You should be telling people is that you have spent a great deal of money. And no, and again, I've already given you a bunch of options. I don't know what else to do. I've given you 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds. There's 4. I've also given you access to the Fundbox, which is again for businesses that are starting. The unsecured financing, which is 6. The business credit cards. So I've given you of the top options we've talked about today. I've given you 10 or 15 options, and I've also talked to you about the exact steps to build business credit. So I think that's quite a few options that you have, even if you don't want to work with us. And if you go to you or don't have the money to work with us, and again, if you go to YouTube, .com/credit suite, then you can also access a bunch of free training we have there. But again, as I said, keep in mind, business credit building is going to cost you money. There's a lot of expenses along the way that you're going to incur. So I would probably try one of those other financing options as well that we talked about. Those could probably work better because business credit, if you're going to do it on your own, you're going to have to get 411. You're going to have to pay for a lot of things. So just keep that in mind as you're doing this on your own. And we kind of went through some of that. Another key, please, for the free setup of the business phone, does this mean it also covers the recurring years? Yes, we pay list yourself, so you never have to pay list yourself. And we do that because it's so important that if it's not done, you get denied. And a lot of our clients weren't doing it. So we just went ahead and pay it, and we pay the recurring cost for that as well. So you don't have to actually do it. What about if I want to sell? If you want to sell, we did talk a little bit more about the partner program. The partner program comes with a ton of extra stuff in here as well. So you can come in and basically add clients, manage the clients you have on what's called a client dashboard. So you can add clients here just for financing or for business credit. You can manage your clients on the client dashboard. You could change their username, password. You could access all the information that they've actually entered in the system along the way. You can enter sales reps. You can manage your funding commissions. You can earn commissions through our executive program. As a partner, you can earn commissions on funding, which is quite a bit of money. We just issued a check the other day to a partner for $9,000 in commissions that they got on funding. How much you get depends on the loan size and the loan program that your clients get. And then we give you everything else you need as well. So the partner training is like a 7-step training process that walks you through exactly how to offer business credit as a financing, talks about what the team does, how to get your stuff set up, all the resources we give you, how to advertise and market, how to sell, what business credit is, what financing is. So we have this training for you, and we have this training for your sales team as well. So it's all step-by-step training you can see here through videos. You also have your own support team. If you're selling business credit financing, these are all scripts and downloads, for example. And then we're also giving you access to a full resource library as well. So the resource library gives you everything you need: coaching calls, contracts, agreements, a bunch of extra resources, financing resources, articles, ebooks, flyers, emails, videos, everything you really need to be successful, we give you. So let me kind of just give you a quick example. So here, for example, are marketing videos that you can all download and use to market. All different kinds of marketing videos that you have. Some are PowerPoint, some are like these like explainer type videos here. Some are these kind of like fun type of videos here. So we're giving you basically all the stuff that you need to be successful. These are demo walkthroughs of the finance suite that you have here. We even have what's called an ultimate program where we set all your marketing up, and we even give you an automation and marketing platform where our sales funnel and everything that we have, we basically just duplicate for you and put in your own system, which is pretty cool. If you're interested in our ultimate program, you could talk to our team. I didn't promote pricing for that because I didn't want to cause confusion with a bunch of different options, but you can see here just the quality of our ebooks that we give you. Everything is professionally done. So you can see the quality of everything that we're giving you resource wise, and it's all in your name. It's all white label. But your finance suite is in your name. So it's all your branding, your logo. Our advising team introduces ourselves as working with you. It's completely white label, so they never even know who Credit Suite is. The whole thing is white label, including all of the resources we give you as well in our partner resources section. So everything we have is white label. So that's how the partner program works. And on creditsuite.com/webinar, that is the VIP program. Just so you know, you don't have, okay, the whole point of wanting to build is likely because, well, that's just not the case at all, Classy. Unfortunately, there's plenty of people that want to build business credit just because they want to get the best terms on financing. And again, it doesn't matter whether you work for us or work with us or not to build business credit. You can build business credit on your own. Just, I mean, the question is are you okay paying $210 a month for credit monitoring alone? You're going to need to make sure that you have the $30 a month to get listed with List Yourself. DMB is going to want to charge you. It's just a longer process. What I like to say is this: you have to decide, and everybody in business, there's something more important to you. It's either your time or it's your money. And in this case, it's faster for us to be able to get your results, and it's cheaper. But even if you say, well, look, my money is worth more value to me than my time, then that's cool. That makes sense. Then in that case, just keep in mind, you're still going to pay the expenses to build business credit on your own. You might want to do things slowly. So that makes more sense for you to be able to afford it. And as I've mentioned multiple times as well, we also have a lot of options, and we'll work with you on payments if that makes sense. If not, I just gave you more free information than you're probably going to get in almost any webinar you attend, including over 12 options that I gave you that are not based or that can be done. as a startup, and also the exact steps to build business credit if that's something that you wanted to do. I really would like to become a client. We just started our business and need credit lines of financing. We help you with both financing and credit. And I've kind of given you the path forward. That the partner program was told a rep that I had to pay $99 per month. You don't have to pay $99 a month. That's for what I described to be our executive program. Our executive program is completely optional, and that lets you add clients in to get financing. So if you want to offer financing and get paid on the financing for your clients, you can come in and become executive, and you'll typically pay for a year and a half of your executive membership with even one funding based on our average funding commission, which is about $2,000. And then also keep in mind that with executive, you get a bunch of extra things too, including salesperson training and sales team training resources. Plus, we have a bunch of extra overflow resources that all come as part of our executive membership too. You don't have to be executive though. You could be a partner and never pay the $99. So it's your choice. We also have a $99 for a CRM through Active Campaign. It's the same price as you pay if you go through Active Campaign. That again is optional. If you wanted to get that as part of our ultimate program, you can, but it's completely optional. If you have your own CRM system you use, then that's not something that you will need. But speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about the investment, just so you know. If you are selling Finance Suite, and you're selling the system without, of course, the partner program, then you're paying $700 on the wholesale, and you're typically selling it for $2,500 to $3,500. So your profit's about $2,500 to $3,000 in profit per sale is what you stand to make, as well as make money on the financing commissions as well. Were those 7 payments or 1 payment, or the 7 payments plus? It's not 7, it's not 1 or, it's actually, let me pull that up. It's either or. So if you look at the webinar special at creditsuite.com/webinar, you can either pay 1 payment or you can pay monthly. It's not both. So you can either pay $24.97 to get a discount with 1 payment, or you can pay payments, whichever option works better for you if that's something that you're interested in. Thing of doing the partner program, I think I can benefit helping people. Yes, if you can and you know the people, it's worth doing. It definitely is worth doing because all you need is 2 people. And it's only $1,000 more. And I'm not saying 1,000 isn't a lot of money, but it's $100 more a month. And if you know people, we even help you close your first sales. The first sale basically pays for your enrollment, and the second sale almost does. Is there an option less than $100 a month? We may be able to work with you on without our advisors. We have all different kinds of options, so it depends on your scenario. But again, if you reach out to us using this information, we could talk to you about your individual situation and see what we can do to help you. Like I said, don't let money be an issue. You know, all you have to do is just let us know. Can we do it less than $100 a month? Not with our full program, no. But again, we can work with you and try to develop some kind of plan, or if nothing else, we can at least consult you about the type of loans that may work for you. So one way or the other, give us a call. Let's see what we can do to actually help you in your situation. Okay, so some of us don't have that in revenue. Again, I've given you a bunch of options without that. Can I review this webinar? Yes, we will send you this because you did attend the full webinar. Hey, Ty, once you start getting trade lines, how long will they report, and how often should you buy products? They report pretty much for 7 years or more. Some accounts report on there indefinitely, but a lot of times the reporting agencies aren't going to keep something on there that you're not using. And credit reports show the recent amount of credit you've used. So to get more credit at higher limits, you need to start using it. But a lot of our clients stop using the vendor accounts when they get the revolving accounts. They get the revolving accounts they're going to need. So it makes sense for them to use the revolving accounts on a regular basis. I have deposits going on every week for the last 4 years, but I have been commingling with personal account. Yeah, Miss May. Well, the problem is that you can't get anything based on business revenue using personal bank accounts. So that's the one thing to keep in mind, is that business bank accounts are what's going to have to be used for any kind of product that looks at bank accounts like that for approval, just so you actually know that. Do you offer help with taxes? We don't. That's just not our forte at all. And we can't really even refer you, because it really has to do for more than, it really has to do with the state that you're actually in. Okay, is this a lifetime access? Yes, it is. You have access to, for the lifetime, once you pay, you are in. We don't continue to charge you. You have advising services for 12 months because you typically don't need them. After 12 months, you're good on your own. And our financing services are available for you indefinitely. So whenever you need financing, we have those. I have a question about becoming a partner. Do I need a business name to get started? No, you don't. If you go through our finance suite, and again, as I kind of showed you when we did that walkthrough of the process, in the business credit builder, what's nice about this is if you're already an established business, you're going to go through step one very quickly. But if you're not an established business, we're going to teach you how to set up your business the right way. And you can see that we start right here with business name. So the very first thing we do is help you set up your business name and pick one. And we even help you come through and search Secretary of State records to see if it's available. Then we help you get your entity. We help you get your EIN. So we help you through that entire process. And most importantly, we help you do it the right way. So that means that you're going to become lendable right from the beginning with the credibility being in check. Not to say you're going to get business loans right away because it's based on a cash flow credit or collateral. You have to have a strength to get money. But again, what we do is set up your business the right way so as you get a strength, you can become lendable, and so you can immediately get business credit with no strength. So I've already gotten my DMB and set my business. What would be the benefit to join the family? Well, Sean, you're not even 3% through the process. You know, the DMB number is fairly easy to get, and getting your business name is set up. But again, as you saw, do you have business credit reports? Do you have any vendors reporting? Do you have the revolving credit? Do you know what Amazon requires to get approved? Do you know how many trade lines you need to be able to get a Walmart credit card? Do you know who Walmart reports to? Do you know 5 vendors that you need to be able to get started and if they'll approve you and how to get approved? You know, these are all the things that our system does. But again, if you're not sure, if you think you can do this on your own, go at it. See if you can do it on your own. You know, go to our YouTube channel and check it out. There's a bunch of training to do it on your own, but you will soon you will see the barriers. And the problem with it is that when you do it on your own, why? You're going to pay more for credit monitoring. You're going to pay for the 411. You're going to pay for all the same stuff that we are giving you as part of our program that saves you the same money that you're going to pay to do it on your own. But I always advise people, if you think you can do this on your own, do it on your own. Go for it. And then if you get stuck, as a lot of people do, then come back to us then when you get stuck. But try to see as far as you can get on your own. That would be my advice. If that makes sense, go for it. Check it out. But just keep in mind, when you weigh the cost, it's basically cheaper to work with us and do it on your own. Credit monitoring alone, you save $2,200 a year. So that covers the whole cost of the enrollment if you think about it. Would I need to call to set up payment plans? Yes, you would, because we can't set up specific payments online beyond what's there. But our team is here, and they'll probably be available for the next hour to 2 hours. And when they're not available, just leave a voicemail. When I do a webinar like this, where I have a ton of people here, and I don't know how many people we had in, 500, 600 people plus. When we have something like this, we get a lot of phone calls right after. So our team may be busy, but if you leave a voicemail or call or send us an email, we will get in touch with you. We'll call, we'll work something out for you individually. But again, you can go online and go through our payment plans that are there. But if one of those, it doesn't make sense for you, then yeah, you need to give us a call. What's the lowest monthly payment plan I can get? My advice is to give us a call and let's see. I don't know if you're looking for VIP. I don't know if you're looking for core. I don't know a bunch of details. So it depends. We work with places like Fundbox Pay, where they finance it for you over the course for a year, where it's super cheap payments, but I can't even remember how much their payments are. It was like, I don't even remember how much it is, and I don't want to misquote. So give us a call. We'll talk about your individual scenario. We'll talk about funding options, and we'll see what we can get figured out on that. This is the discuss with the rep. Can you help me get the financing to pay for the plan? Possibly, yes. And again, we have to talk to you to know more about your scenario. Can we get you a loan? Can we get you financing? Can we get you Fundbox Pay? We have a bunch of options, but we'd have to talk to you about your individual situation to see if we may be able to help. But look, don't let money be a deterrent. Because like I said, Fundbox Pay, we just added 3 months ago. We're part of their beta program. So we're always adding more options and more different types of programs and things we have in beta that we're not even putting on our website because they're in a testing phase. So there's so much stuff that I just won't discuss in an open forum because it's brand new. We haven't tested it or it's in a beta. So this is why I want you to call. Once we understand your individual scenario, we'll get it figured out. The point now is, does this make sense? Do you like the idea of getting business credit financing in one place, working with an advisor to help you through it, having a step-by-step system that helps you condense the years down into only months, saving the money on credit monitoring and all these other things? If it does, well, then give us a ring. Let it see. One of two things is going to happen. We can either figure out something that works or doesn't. And if it doesn't, then our team will say, okay, I know what your scenario is. They will put it in our system. So if another option opens up that works for you, we'll be able to then help you in that case. When you apply for EIN, they ask for the social. How do you get the EIN without your social? You typically don't. Typically, just because you're giving they have to give an identifying number to get your EIN, such as a TIN, such as an SSN, but that doesn't mean you personally guarantee the business. They're doing that to make sure that you are a U.S. citizen. That's what they're looking for, is U.S. citizenship. That's the only reason they're asking for it, but it doesn't have anything to do with your personal guarantee. So you use the social to prove that you're a U.S. citizen to get the EIN, but then you can build all the business credit without providing the social to be able to get it without the guarantee. Okay, is the program hands-off, or do we have to do most of the work? You have to think about what's involved with building business credit. You find sources you want to get credit with. You apply to get that credit. You use the credit, you pay the bill. These are not things people could do for you. You're asking a question similar to, can you imagine if somebody else built your consumer credit for you? And can you also imagine the liability on both sides? What happens if we go get a $20,000 Amazon account for you, you use it, max it out, and tell Amazon you never applied for the account? So there's a million different problems when it comes to anybody else applying for credit. The other problem is that most credit issuers won't allow for what's called third-party applications. They don't allow for somebody else to fill out the application on your behalf, even with a power of attorney. So the problem with that is that if you get caught, then they shut down all of your credit anyways. So we do it in 100% legitimate and legal way where you will never have problems. What you're describing, if somebody does it for you, can absolutely create problems. Shelf corporations, buying trade lines, having other people apply for credit on your behalf. These are all known reasons that Dun & Bradstreet shuts down and terminates credit profiles. So we don't mess around in that space because D&B doesn't mess around with that stuff. So yes, you will go through the process, but our advising team will hold your hand and walk you through it. So if you're doing step one, our advisors will be on the phone with you while you do step one to answer your question, but you are definitely going to be doing some of the work through the process. We just can't apply for credit on your behalf, use the credit and pay the bills. And to be quite honest with you, those are not things you'd ever want somebody doing for you, because it creates huge liability if you're giving somebody that kind of access to your credit. Does it make a difference which state the EIN is registered? Nope. This works in all states. Beyond the 24 or 34.97, do we have to pay credit suite as we obtain credit? No, you do not. Not at all. We don't even charge you a dime when we get you loans. Some lenders pay us a referral fee, some don't. But the 34.97, there are optional things you can buy. You can pay to set up all of your stuff for you, to get it all done, set up for you. You could pay to access our CRM, where our entire sales funnel and everything is built for you. Our system is so elaborate that we have a program where you can come in and we duplicate our sales funnels and everything and set it up for you. We set up your website, we set up your landing pages, we integrate those with your CRM system. But here's what's cool. Somebody opts in on your website, they go into your CRM, the sales funnel is triggered automatically. It's the same sales funnel we use. It's cloned from ours, but white label in your name. People go through your emails, they start clicking in your emails. As they click, they are assigned points. As they get to a certain amount of points, such as 100 points, then the system automatically triggers a webinar just like this, without our name, without our branding, where I did the webinar myself for 90 minutes with no branding and only talked about the program without the core. Okay, and it was on how to get $250,000 in business credit, and it sells the customer for you. Then it notifies you that the person had the points, got the webinar, and notifies you or your sales team to call them to close the deal. We'll even help you close the deal. And we've even got somebody else that helps you with the marketing aspect. That's called our Ultimate program. And you can call and talk to our team more about our Ultimate program. I'll give you the same discount on that if you're coming in. So it's very elaborate. But again, those are extra things you could choose to pay for. You could choose to be an executive and get paid on funding and submit customers for funding. You could choose to get access to our CRM or have us set up your marketing. So there are elective things that you can choose to get, but there's nothing after you enroll that you have to actually pay for to us. of course you have to pay for other things, right? If you have to pay the state to set up your EIN, or the Secretary of State to set up your entity, you have to, your EIN doesn't cost anything from the IRS, but you have to pay to get your phone line set up. In a normal stuff that you have to pay for to set up a business, yes, but you don't have to pay us for credit or any of those type of things. Are there lenders to loan against 411 Vanguard, as the 411 and the will not allow the person to withdraw or move it as long as the person's still employed? Yeah, Aaron, you bring up a good point. It has to be not with an employer. So you can borrow as much as 100% of what's in a 401k, for example, but that 401k can't be with an employer. And here's why. The employer controls that, not you or I. If the employer says they won't let you access those funds, there's nothing any of us can do. But if that money's not with a current employer, you can use it. If it is, it's the employer's call on that, not you or I. School is 6 years old that has a gross revenue of 2.2 million. Great job. It sounds like an awesome business. I need to speak to someone concerning how this concept would work for a nonprofit. We have a lot of nonprofit loans that work, just so you know, and any nonprofit can build business credit as well. Also, on needing to build credit to refinance or bonding real estate loan, that's easy. We do a lot of real estate and a lot of nonprofit. We are being okay, so that's no problem. Give us a ring. Your organization, yeah, we absolutely. We have loans for nonprofits. We have tons of financing available for real estate as well, and we could possibly even do something to help you without paying the excessive fees. We have interest rates lower than you're describing. We have things that help with every aspect of this. We just have to talk to you a little bit more about your unique scenario, and of course, you have our financing, so you can easily do that. The name of the UBF is Unsecured Business Financing, and that's not a source that does it. There's several financial sources that out there that do it. Seed Capital is one. Capwell is another that does it, and another is Seek Financing. Those are three that do it. But again, why? If you're interested in getting financing with one of those, just give us a ring. We work with every financing source in that area, and I can tell you that in a lot of cases, Seed might be best for you to get the most amount of money, and in other cases, Seek is going to be better. So what we do, we don't charge you anything to get financing. We'll talk to you about your scenario. We'll help you figure out which source works better for you, help you through the whole process, and you don't pay us a dime. It costs you less money. You can go to them direct, but you will pay more because we get a volume discount. It's that simple. We do so many loans through these sources that they give us a volume discount that we pass on to you. So why not take the help for free and pay less? If that doesn't make sense, there's a few sources where you can go to them directly. So I'm a partner with two other guys. We own a rehab business. Oh, that's awesome. We do house for seller financing, which can help you, and a holding company for buy, fix, and rent. The business credit works great for fix and or buy and hold, and fix and flip. We have a house seller program that works. You say this is a risky to finance. Anything in real estate or financial services is, so you know. So if I were to start a totally new business based on your understanding of credit worthiness and what business would it be, anything general, consultation, anything like to that effect would work really good. So as general as you can get would possibly work best. But look, we can still help you with your industry. It's just a lot of lenders won't. You just need to know that. I've been doing everything on my own, got 4 net 30. Great job, man. Business bank account registered in what state? How long will it take to get the financing for heavy equipment? Business credit, heavy equipment financing isn't based on business credit quality. It's based on consumer credit quality. Usually they want 620, 650 consumer FICO scores, but we've got sources with 550, 580 that can help. So give us a call. Let's see if we can help you get financing. That doesn't have to do with business credit, just so you know that. How much are monthly payments? We talked about that as well. You can go to creditsuite.com/webinar. If you go here, you can actually see what our actual payments are right here. So you can get the $497 for core, $597 for VIP. If those don't work, then you let us know. Then what we will do is we work out a custom payment for you. No money in personal credit, not so good. Want to start a daycare? Will this help you? Business credit's a great way. So what you look at is, what do you need to start a daycare? You need a location, right? You need toys. You need furniture. Well, most of that stuff you can get at IKEA. You can get at Amazon. You can get at Walmart. Business credit can help you get the money for all of that stuff. And then there's some financing options that may work too. If you have collateral or a guarantor, there's other things. But business credit's a catch-all, guys. Business credit, there's so many different places you can get credit with that will really help you get the money you need to fund the business. My advice is, what do you need money for? You know, that's what you have to figure out. Once you know what you need money for, then you can say, look, I need furniture, I need toys, I need this, I need that. And where can I go to get that? Well, I'm going to go to Office Depot to get furniture, and Staples to get office supply, and Walmart I can get a bunch of the toys. And then business credit will probably give you 85–90% of what you need, and then that leaves a much smaller chunk of money that you may need for anything else, and we might be able to even help you with that as well. How we'll be able to view this again, we will email you tomorrow a playback of this. I'm in the trucking industry. No, it's not high risk. Trucking is one of the top 3 industries we help, and this is a no-brainer. You should have already enrolled if you're a trucker. And the reason why is because you and I both know what you pay for fuel. And a large part of what we have here is we have a lot of Shell and BP and Chevron and Sunoco, and we deal with a lot of fleet credit here that's going to help you get financing. So, all the stuff you're going to need for truck repairs, for maintenance, financing to get more trucks to expand the fleet, fuel cards, all of that we can help you with. And no, it is not considered to be high risk. CPN is a joke. Don't ever get a CPN. They're usually stolen Social Security numbers. And again, it's not going to help you get financing like it's made to believe. So stay away from CPNs. There's all kinds of problems there. If your business name has acquisitions in it, it's not going to be a red flag, but it could veer on the side of financial services. So just being careful, but the acquisitions by itself won't be. Automotive repair is not high risk. You said we can get credit immediately after the webinar. What program is this? That's through vendors, Uline, Quill, Granger, those type of things. And if you don't have any security stuff, look, Classy, you're asking the same question a lot of different ways. So let me answer it this way. To get a loan or credit line of any sort, you need a strength. You need a reason that a bank would lend you money. So a bank is going to lend you money for one of 3 reasons. You have good credit, you have cash flow, or you have some kind of collateral. If you don't have collateral, you don't have cash flow, and you don't have good credit, then you don't have a lendable strength. There's no reason that a lender would want to physically lend you money. Now, there's still options. You can go into somebody else that has a 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds, use them as a guarantor. You can use somebody else that's a family member, friend as a guarantor. So there are options there. But if those options don't work, then business credit's a catch-all. You can get the money you need to fund the business following the steps to come in and build your business credit. You don't need cash flow credit or collateral to get business credit. So to get a loan or credit line, you got to have a strength. You have to have a reason a bank would want to lend you money, cash flow credit or collateral. If you have none of those 3, look at see if there's a guarantor that has one of those. If they don't, then the other option is you build business credit, and that's a catch-all that will give you most of the financing that you need. I currently have capital tied up in loads of merchandise. Oh, that's perfect for inventory financing, and need help with the first payment so we can get your company on board with you. What do I need to request from the organizer? I'm currently working with an order. What you'd want to do if you're talking, I managed to accomplish starting the first step. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get inventory financing with that. And if you have merchandise as your inventory, what you need is a good inventory management system. To get inventory financing, they're going to want to see how much the inventory is worth and what the inventory is. So you just need some kind of inventory management system or list, detailed description of each piece of inventory. Basically, for inventory financing, what they're looking for is that you have a detailed system to watch over your inventory. You know the value of it. You know what it is. That's what they're going to want for that kind of financing. Can you build a business that's a tax service business? You absolutely can. Thelma, sample, you saw the samples. They actually have a tax business, and that's what they do. I've been in for about 10 years. You'd be good. Yeah, daycare. Daycare is not high risk. And I talked about the UBF sources already. If we join as a partner, will you assist in setting up a business that offers a business credit services as primary source of business? Yeah, absolutely. We do all that. We can help you with a merchant account source, and all those. And a lot of our partner training gives you all that too. Our partner training, our step-by-step partner training program offers you almost everything you need. So our step-by-step partner training program actually gives you the step-by-step of what you need to get set up. Welcome introduction, what you need to know about business credit, financing, how to sell, how to interview, sell, and close, what our team does and what your role is in it. Getting set up initially, we walk you through all that stuff, and then advertising and marketing. So how you price your finance suite, how you get your merchant account, how you set up your marketing materials, your automation marketing platform. We go through all of that with you as a partner, just so you actually know that we have that. Does the marketing company is not considered high risk? No. If I decide to be a business partner after purchasing the financing for my business, can I upgrade? You can upgrade at any time and change from program to program. If I've already started a business, specifically LLC, if I put a person on with the 20% ownership who has good credit, will that benefit my assets? It will. You can get unsecured financing, but do not do that without talking to us first, because our finance sources will help do that for you the right way and the cheapest way. So if that's what you're interested in doing, is adding somebody for that purpose, get with us. We'll get you with the finance source that makes the most sense for you, and then they can help you actually go through that and do that. I'll need the money to pay for this service. Can I use one of those resources to pay for it? You absolutely can. Like I said, we have a lot of different options that can actually work for you there. If I started some of these steps, do I get help fixing anything I may have done incorrectly? Yes. Believe it. I'm sure you can imagine that 80% of the people that come to us because they tried to do it on their own and screwed it up. So yeah, we're pretty seasoned to that. Does it cover the actual charges for helping business line? No, it doesn't. Like I said, you're going to have to pay the expenses of setting up a normal business, right? Your address, your phone number, anything like that, your EIN. And the reason our price can't include that is because it varies. In Florida, it's $70 to set up a corporation. In California, it's $600. So there's so many charges that vary based on service and state that we couldn't include those charges in. But it's estimated that everything you need to set up a business, from getting the entity and everything in between, costs maybe a total of $500, just so you know about how much it is to set up an actual business. If we buy the VIP, does that give us additional top secret vendor accounts? I heard you mention, yes, it does. And the $7,500 phone line is part of that as well. And we just added 9 brand new vendor sources. The reason I don't like try to refer to them as like top secret, although I love that terminology and that you did. The reality is this: what we've learned is that so few vendors report, that what we've done is we went ahead and we help people report. So we find companies that want to report, and then we help go them through the process to report. Then when they report, we add them to our finance suite, and nobody else even knows they exist. Their customers do, but most of them are such small companies that you never find them. They're not on credit boards. They're not in groups. Nobody knows about them because they're such small companies, and we help them get the ability to report. And you get access to all of those for SEO, website services. We have them for marketing services. We have them for phone services, and many other things. Truck stops, gas. We have vendors with all those type of accounts. Do you guys help independent record labels? Oh yeah. Matter of fact, Donnell, we've helped more than a handful of record labels and nightclubs too. We do a lot of those too. Your service officers are awesome. I wish I knew of this company last year. I really appreciate that. I started this company because I had the problems in the beginning. I didn't know how to access capital, and I guaranteed everything personally for my mortgage business. The mortgage industry collapsed, and I lost everything, my home, my cars, all my assets. They cleaned out my bank account, pushed me almost to personal bankruptcy. I fought my way back, even though I paid the bankruptcy attorney thousands of dollars. So again, the problem is that a lot of people don't know how to access money. What we've done is just pull together a way that anybody can get money. If you don't have a strength, we help you build business credit. If you do have a strength, we help you get financing and build business credit to get more money in the future at the better terms. It's just an all-in-one solution to get money, and we help expedite the process and give you so much stuff for free at a discount that it actually saves you money. So I'm glad you appreciate it. If someone signs up through me, through the VIP program, are they offline? They can't sign up for you VIPs to offer business credit. As a partner, you'd have access to your own program. You call it your own thing. It's similar to our core program, and what those people would be doing is applying for business credit. We don't do with anything with consumer credit, so all they would be doing is accessing commercial credit. Can you elaborate on what you mean by one inquiry on your personal credit can cost you $25,000? Sure. When we talk about unsecured financing, the unsecured business financing here in the Finance My Business section, we talked about this. You can get up to $150,000 in financing based on your personal credit or that of a guarantor. We talked, and again, it's 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. With this program, you need to have less than 5 or 6 inquiries in the last 6 months' time. If you came in with 5 inquiries, there's a good chance we could get you 20 or 25,000 less than if you had 4 inquiries. If you had, and on and on and on. So it depends on your scenario and how high your limits are, but inquiries will terminate or really ruin your ability to get this kind of financing if you have more than 6. If you have less than 6, we can still get you some financing, but the fewer you have, the more money you get. It's as simple as that. And the reason for this is because when they see you're inquiring to get other sources of money, they don't know how much you have. So it's harder for us to get you as many credit lines as you could get with fewer inquiries. So hopefully that answers your question. I would like the core package, but do you have a smaller payments? Yes, just give us a ring, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. We'll work with you on a custom payment plan. And also keep in mind that our team is available now. If we're not there, just leave a voicemail and we will get back to you. But I had some of them hang out in the office waiting for you guys to call. Everyone's got a proof for Spark. Congratulations. Will it automatically report on my business? It will, and your personal. Be very careful. I tell people to avoid that card at all costs as a last resort, because the problem is 30% of your consumer credit score is based on utilization, which means as you use that Spark card, you will, without a doubt, lower your personal credit, and that ruins your ability to get other kinds of financing. So try to deal with business credit accounts that only report to the business reporting agencies, not personal. That's one of the problems of personal reportings. Okay, I called you guys to get help. I said someone would call me back. Well, just give us a ring. If you talk to somebody, our team, and look, our team, we have several safeguards in place to make sure somebody will always call you back. But sometimes they call. The biggest thing we run into is we call and people's voicemail is full. We call and leave messages and don't hear back. We call and talk to somebody else in the office and we can't get in touch with them. So if that happens, just give us a ring. Call us right now, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. We will get with you. Our team is very good at getting back with you. But again, in most of the cases where somebody says, man, I called, I didn't get a call back. Well, we checked the records and the problem was we called, the VM was full, those type of things. Just give us a ring. We'll definitely help you. The guarantor's highest credit card limit's $3,500. Well, the UBF makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you're typically going to get about 5 to 8 times that amount of money. So that's about 15 to 20,000 in financing you'd probably possibly be able to get. Can I log into my D&B and list people I paid to build the? You can. That's called D&B's Business Credit Builder. The problem with that is all you're ever going to do is basically it's $159 a month to get it, and all you're going to do is build your Dun & Bradstreet credit profile that way. And most credit issuers look at Experian, and most lenders look at Equifax. So that's as problematic as if you only built your TransUnion consumer credit report and you didn't build Equifax Experian. You're going to have all kinds of problems. So you can do what you're describing, but just know you're going to still have to follow the exact same steps I taught you to build Experian and Equifax, and you're still going to pay the same cost and the same work. So it doesn't really help you with the credit profile, just so you know. I went on my own, but I didn't get very far. It's harder than it looks from my personal experience. It is very hard on your own. I make it easy, but the easiest way to explain it is that we teach you what to do, but not the insight and specifics of how to do it. And we just hired a new social media marketing manager, Michael, and he emailed me this morning and said, hey, man, so many people are out there trying to do it on their own that we're seeing, and they're all struggling to get the first vendor accounts. And I said, yeah, I know, because look at Quill, for example. Quill has a minimum of $50 requirement. They first order, they may not report for 90 days. They may make you prepay the order. You have to have 3 accounts reporting to D&B to populate a report. You have to have a DUNS for D&B's report to populate. Those are 5, 6 problems from applying for one account. If you don't know what it takes to get approved with every account, you can only succeed by trial and error, applying a bunch of places, getting denied, getting approved for some, applying for a bunch more, getting denied, getting approved for some. It's a rigorous process, which is why I said it takes you 18 to 24 months to even try diligently to do this on your own for the same thing that we map out and do it for 60 days, but in 6 months. But Pedro, isn't that way with everything? I can go on YouTube right now and learn to do anything at all, but I'm not going to do it as well as somebody that knows how to do it. Okay. I'm not a fisherman, but my son wanted to go fishing this weekend. So we went and bought the tackle and everything. And I YouTubed how to put a rod together, how to people that are fishermen laugh at me, but I don't know this stuff, how to put the bobber on and the hook. I don't know how to do any of that. So I YouTubed it all. Does that mean that I can go out and fish like a professional fisherman? Absolutely not. We didn't catch anything. Somebody that fishes knows what they're doing. It's like that no matter what you do. You work with somebody that knows what they're doing and an expert, they're going to save you time versus trying to do it on your own, where you'll get half of the results in twice the time. No, Fundbox does not run a credit check. It's based on your revenue class. You said you're newer in business. It might not work for you, but they don't do a credit check. I have deposits going in every week for the last 4 years, but I've been coming. Yeah, and Angel, I already answered that question. I have a computer hardware and software business. I thought I saw, no, that's It's not. If you're in the software business, that's not high risk. How much is the monthly expenses related to building business credit in the 6 months? It's not an expense. It's what you buy. So there's no expenses to use building business credit besides setting up the initial business, which is maybe $500, but it differs in state, right? $600 to set up the business in California. But what will happen is that you're going to have to buy stuff on the credit. So it's not like it's a cost, because the purpose of building business credit is to access credit that you really need to use, right? So if you come in here, for example, and you're coming in to build business credit, and this is where people mess up. People think of it as a means to an end. Well, how much do I have to spend at Amazon to get to the next step? Why do you want to get to the next step? What you need to be focusing on is getting the credit you really need to get to grow the business. If you come in and you're a trucker, well, then, there's no cost to get a Shell card. It saves you money, because now the $600 to fill up your truck, you're using Shell. If you're coming in and running a credit repair business, well, now you don't need to pay the $500 for paper and supplies. You go to Staples and use business credit for it. So as long as you're getting accounts that you need to buy stuff legitimately to grow the business, there really is no cost. The only cost is just using the credit and paying the bill. Hopefully that helps. So we're a cash-strapped clothing line. How could you help us? Well, it depends. Give us a ring. Like I said, we can work with you with payments to get started. There may be some financing you can qualify for without us. Even if you don't have the money to get started with us, we'll give you the best advice we can give you to try to build business credit on your own, just to try to succeed on your own. Is my web design business considered one of the riskies? No, it's not. What is the name of the funding company just out of the beta? That is called Fundbox Pay. And we're part of their beta to actually be able, it's a program that actually gets you financing for your business. Can you give the name of the 2 beginner net 30s? I'll give you 3: Granger, Uline, and Quill. That's Granger, Uline, and Quill. I started business September, still only show 1 trade line. I need the help getting these reported. I have Quill, Uline, Granger, Kanoko, Fleet, Capital One, business credit card. Again, if you're working with us, we can help you through that process. If not, I can tell you there's a bunch of reasons the stuff may not report. You might not have the DUNS. You might not have 3 accounts reporting to DMB for them to populate a report. Quill takes 90 days to report. You might not have given it enough time. You might not have spent enough money. Some ones like Quill have $50 minimum requirements. You're throwing out a bunch of trades, so the reasons could be different for this, but something's definitely wrong if what you're describing. Sometimes people think they have credit and they don't. But let me reference this. You're referencing something a lot of people have problems with. Like I said, it takes you 18 to 24 months to figure this out on your own. You started the business in September. You are now 7 months into a process, and all you have are vendor accounts. Our clients 7 months into the process would already have Visa, MasterCard, and American Express cards. So you kind of either throw up the white flag and let us help you through the process, or I gave you about 8 different reasons that you may want to check into on why some of these accounts may not report. My other advice is to call each one of them and ask them why they're not reporting, who they're supposed to report to and why not. That's another way that can work as well. Credit repair, credit repair is high risk only because you're in financial services. Mark, don't take it personally. I'm in financial services in a lot of cases too, even though we're a software company, they consider it to be the same. Business consulting company, no, it's not high risk. That's general. I like that. What's the minimum credit requirement for a guarantor? They need a 680 FICO score, or they need a 650 consumer score, and they should have a revolving credit of at least a $2,000 high. Could I get the VIP and have my son be the seller? Yeah, absolutely. You guys might work on this together. We have a lot of family teams that do it. I wasted a year trying to do it on my own, and it cost me a lot of money. I'm looking for redemption and forgiveness. Coming from a hard head. It's funny. You make me laugh. But look, I mean, I've been there. The reason I got into this and started Credit Suite was because when I found out what business credit was, excuse my language, but I got really pissed that nobody out there was teaching this stuff, and that I lost everything personally because I didn't even know how to build business credit. And so that's what got me in the business, was to try to help and teach others how to do this. So you don't go through what experience I went through, and unfortunately you went through as well. The people, and don't feel bad, Christine, that you saw her example, her real story is she spent 1.5 years trying to do this on her own, and she worked with 3 other companies before she found us. After 1.5 years, she had 3 vendors, reporting, and she spent like thousands of dollars. But then she got with us, and 6 months later, it was insane. Now she's got two businesses, a 50,000 PNC, 100,000 PNC. She gets auto vehicle finance. She has over $500,000 in total credit for her business, following the right system. So it's just about doing it the right way, following the right steps in the right system. We can help you get that redemption. Just give us a ring. Let us know what we can do to help. But don't feel bad, man. Honestly, so many of our clients have been exactly down that same road. Do you have programs funding for veterans? We do. And thank you very much for your service. I'm a vet too. So we do a lot of cool things, especially for veterans, just because everybody that's a vet's near and dear to my heart, because we all went through similar things. So yeah, absolutely. We do have financing. We deal with several loans that work well for veterans. A lot of them are offered through ABA and other ways. So we can definitely help you there. Does your equipment funding sources require a down payment? They do. Some of them, it depends on credit. And usually the down payment is first and last month's payment is typically what's required, but it can be more. 640 score, you're right in the middle, but usually it's first and last month's payment is what a lot of times they want. But don't hold me to that. Every scenario is different. Give us a ring. We'll get you with our finance team, and they can go through and talk about your individual scenario. Can we call over the next couple of days to deal with the payment? Absolutely. You have through Friday at midnight to get the special. Our word is our bond. So we rarely ever extend the payments unless like we had a card on file and a certain date to process, etc. So you will go to that website Friday at midnight West Coast time, and if you came in Saturday morning, you'd see that website's pulled down, and our team won't honor it because it makes us look bad if we don't do what we say we'll do. But yeah, so you've got through Friday. Recently have inquiries due to a refinance. Some company with multiple inquiries on my personal report. Will that affect? It won't affect your ability to get business credit. It won't affect your ability to get a lot of the credit lines we talked about today. Unsecured business financing, it will affect your ability to. How many accounts reported do I need to apply for Walmart with the Paydex of 75? I'm not really sure off the top of my head how much, but let me show you how easy it is for our clients to actually know that. You need 10. There you go. See that? That's how easy it is for our clients to know. And then our clients are also able to come in here and be able to figure out exactly what they need. You're going to need a 78 score and 10 accounts reporting. And that's how easy it is for our clients to be able to get that information. Really appreciate you answering. No problem. Let me know, everyone know that the cost associated with joining this program is considered 100% tax deductible. I appreciate that. Yes, it is. How many accounts I need reported to apply for Walmart? I just kind of went through that. Is insurance acceptable? No, it's financial services. It's considered to be high risk. Restaurant, risky. Restaurant's one of the riskiest businesses out there because so many try to jump in and don't work, but we do have financing for restaurants. How do I reach Fundbox Pay? I don't know. Get with us. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. We have a special link that we send you for that, but I have no clue what that link is. Is my house cleaning business high risk? No. Cologne business? No. Auto repair? No, it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I said I would stick around for an hour to answer questions. It's an hour, and I've went through all the questions that have been asked so far. I'm not leaving you hanging. Give us a ring. We'll answer your questions. I have a whole team that will help you. info@creditsuite.com, 877-600-2487. Okay, so that being said, look, there's a couple ways this can go. One, just take what I taught you and go at this on your own. If that's the route that you want to go, that's cool. I put more free information into this space to help entrepreneurs than almost anybody that you'll ever meet. So if you want to go this on your own, go on your own. But as a lot of people have said in the comments here, this is not easy. We make it look easy. Our software systemizes it and structures it in a way where it is easier for our clients if they follow our steps. But you're going to run into a lot of roadblocks anytime you try to learn something as complicated as this and do it on your own. Not to say you can't succeed. Plenty do. It just takes a lot longer to succeed, and you just don't get as much money. But if money is really tight and you don't even want to talk to us about a payment plan, try it on your own, and we're going to be here. The special probably won't be, but we will be here to help you down the road. But if you want the faster, easier path, and if you look at the math of this, it just makes sense. It's cheaper to work with us than do it on your own. You don't have to pay for 411. You save $2,200 every year on credit monitoring. You save $360 every year on 411 listing. We help you not have to pay Dun & Bradstreet the money. You can know how much your business is worth at any given time. And there's so many things that we continue to add, sources you'll never know about, the exact approval requirements that, again, you're going to spend years doing what we're going to do in 6 months and get half the results that we get for our clients. So if that makes sense, work with us. If not, use the free information. My goal is that you leave here with 20 plus credit lines when I promised you 12 that you can get, ones that even if you don't have good credit, you can get, even as a startup, you can get, even if you don't have collateral, even if you don't have cash flow. We talked about a bunch of them. So I've given you a bunch of financing options that can work, that you now know the kind of program to go out and look for. But give us a ring. Even if you don't want to work with us on the business credit side, give us a ring or email us on the financing. We never charge you a dime. We get volume discounts from lenders we pass on to you. And anytime you can work with a broker versus a lender directly, you're better, because you can tell us anything and we basically help structure a deal to actually get done with the lender versus you go to the lender and blowing it, trying it on your own. Okay, so again, we created an environment where all the financing, all the credit, all the support, all the advising, all the technology is available in one place to streamline and make it easy. So if it makes sense, if you like it, then give us a ring. We can help you get financing. Even if you're not buying from us, we can still help you get loans and financing if you can qualify. If you want to work with us, then we help you build the business credit step by step in an easy way with our advising team, not just to call in case you need support. We call and coach you through the program. And our partner program is unlike anything you'll see. Literally is a $25,000, $50,000 franchise program with everything a franchise would have, the complete marketing system, all the materials, all the training, without paying a $25,000, $50,000 franchise fee. So anyway, you win. If you're a partner and you know a couple people, you make you make sales to, you're making $2,000, $3,000 in profit per sale, and you can make thousands more on the back end. Now, per the FTC, everything's different per every person. How hard you work determines how much money you make. How many core credit sources you apply for determines if you get the $500,000 that Christine has, the $1 million that Marlon got. You may get 50 grand if you apply for 50. There's a lot of things that you under control, obviously, but we will help you through the process if you're serious. We give you a 30-day money back guarantee. If you haven't already, you can go to check out our credibility. It speaks wonders about our business. All you have to do is just go to our website. If you go to our website, you'll see we're A+ with the BBP, and we are not accredited. And I say that with absolute pride because we never paid the DMB, we never paid BAB a dime. We never paid the Better Business Bureau a dime. We are an A+ with the Better Business Bureau because what happens is we earned our A+ because we've never had a complaint in the lifetime of our company. You're darn right I'm not accredited BBB because I will not pay you money to give me a grade. I will earn my grade, and we've earned our A+. You can go to our website. You can come and go to credibility. You can check out our Trustpilot reviews and see real reviews from our clients. Guys, this was published 23 hours ago. April 9th, April 8th, April 8th. These aren't just people leaving reviews. They're telling you exactly what their real experience is like. You can see it in detail here all the way through. Okay, April 7th, so you can see these aren't seasoned reviews from years ago. You can come in here and go to So Tell Us. So Tell Us, here's all of our reviews. These are all from April. These are real reviews from real people. Okay, pictures, images with some of them. Okay, you can see these. You can see Google reviews. You can see Facebook reviews. You can see what people are really actually saying about the company from real people. If you want even more, you can come in and you can look at actual approvals. You want to see more approvals than what I just showed you? This whole page is just for approvals. Okay, and so you can see all these are actual real approvals that people are getting and sharing. Okay, they're sharing their cards or showing the actual approvals, and I can go on and on, guys. There's over 120 sources of approvals just on the approvals page, so you can see real approvals. I think that you should have real proof, and to me, that's real proof. You want client testimonials? We don't have one-line testimonials. Every testimonial comes with the full video. So you can actually see what they say and you can watch the video. Every testimonial that we have on our website are real people. You can verify their names, you can verify their companies. There's tons and tons and tons of testimonials. These are all real video testimonials. Okay, you can see our press coverage, you can see funding case studies, you can see our Entrepreneur and Forbes and Business.com and Men's Essential Magazine and source after source after source that we teach, and we talk about business credit, we talk about financing. So you can go to the credibility link on our website and you will clearly see the credibility that our company has. And I think that that speaks for itself. But most importantly, guys, we help 15,000 people build business credit and now counting. We've never had a complaint from a client ever online. I think that speaks wonder. And if you look at So Tell Us, Google, Facebook, Trustpilot, we have hundreds of reviews. So I think that that's more than enough proof to say that we do what we say we're going to do. So give us a call, send us an email. We will work with you on payments if you want to work with us. If you want financing and don't want to enroll, we can help you with that as well. Maybe we can hit your price point monthly. Maybe we can't. But even if we can't, then we'll try to give you as much free advice and help you as much to do this on your own. We're not going to coach you through the process on your own. Our team won't do that because they dedicate their time to helping clients that are paying us, of course. But we have a ton of free sources that we can guide you to. So one way or the other, we can actually do this. So I'm going to answer no brainer for entrepreneur. I appreciate that. AutoZone reports yes. Can a person get in your program and help get with money to start building? Sell? Yes, we help that. AutoZone, can a person? Okay, so that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've answered a bunch of questions, about an hour's worth of questions, and I'll answer one more before, or answer two more before we wrap up. Dennis says, and these are my last two questions here. I got one from Dennis and one from Mimi. Dennis says, what's the difference between Fund and Grow and Credit Suite? It's very, very, very simple. Fund and Grow offers unsecured business financing. They offer that program I told you about. Let me try to get access to my system here. Where are we? They offer access to the financing, the up to $150,000 in unsecured financing that you have to have good credit for. You need a 680 FICO score to get their program. And to be able to build credit, you've got to provide a personal guarantee. We used Fund and Grow as a funding source. We do not use them anymore, and here's why. We have two funding sources that consistently got more money for our clients than Fund and Grow. They got them more money. They got them higher approvals. They got the money faster. And so we tested Fund and Grow. We tested Seed Capital. We tested every source that deals with this kind of financing. We placed hundreds and hundreds of deals through these sources. And the sources we work with now get our clients the most amount of money, and they get it fastest. And that's all we care about: speed and most amount of money. We do not use Fund and Grow, and I have nothing against Ari or Fund and Grow. They're right up the road. They're 30 minutes from me. I've spent time in their office. I've spent time with Ari at his house. I know Ari very well. Okay, but I will tell you that unfortunately, as much as I wanted it to work with them, it didn't. Our sources that we use got more money at better terms, so we don't use them. But they are completely different. That's all they do is unsecured financing. They don't offer access to all these other types of financing. They don't help you build corporate credit, which is the credit that you get without the personal guarantee. They don't help you with the store credit. They don't help you with the vendor credit. They don't help you set up the credibility. They don't help you come in and get Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express cards without personal guarantees of credit checks. It's just not what they do. What they do is unsecured business financing. And if you're interested in that, then give us a shot. We're not going to charge you up front or anything to get it. And if we look at it and say Fund and Grow is the best source, we'll refer you to Fund and Grow. But 10 out of 10 times what we find is that another source that we have that gets unsecured financing gets our clients more money at better terms. So we end up going to a source that does that. Remy, what's the difference between Ultimate and VIP? VIP, you're a partner to sell business credit. Ultimate, you have access to everything we set up for you. We set up your marketing flyers, your PowerPoints, your eBooks, your free reports and guides. We set all that up for you. And you also get access to our actual automation and marketing platform. We clone our funnel. We clone all of the landing pages are set up. The websites are set up. We create SMS text message campaigns that are already set up for you, ready to go to text message prospects and text clients that opt in for it. We have post-retention email campaigns for after they enroll. We have sales funnels for before they enroll. We have a video series and webinar that sells the customer for you. That's all comes with our Ultimate program. But again, if you want more details, just give us a ring, send us an email. We can sit down, go through the difference between all the programs so you understand the difference between Ultimate and you understand the difference between VIP. Thank you all very much for wrapping this up. I'm going to go ahead and close it up because honestly, we could be here all night doing questions, and we're still available to answer questions. Just give us a ring, 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487. info@creditsuite.com. Yes, you can upgrade at any time. And Dennis says, spent money with them, and what do I do now? We'll call in to discuss. Call and talk to us. I'm never going to tell you to get your money back from anybody. If you're happy with what they're doing for you, great. But talk to our team and let our team see what we can do to help if you're not happy. So again, just let us know what we can do to help, and hopefully we're able to assist you. Okay, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Thank you very much for taking the time to tune in. I will make sure you get your playback tomorrow of this, and give us a ring, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about what we can help you do to be able to get started or help you get financing one way or the other. So give us a ring. Look forward to talking to everybody. Hope you all have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you. Thank you for all the thanks. I really appreciate it. And again, my goal is that even if you don't enroll with us, even if you don't work with us, that you leave with some actionable information. And I hope you all can agree that we definitely did that tonight. Thanks, everybody. It means very much. I know the value of your time. I know it's so valuable. And I hope that I've helped make the most of it and teach you some things you didn't know. And I hope to have an opportunity and the honor of working with all of you. So thank you all very much. And I look forward to working with you and seeing you on the other side. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.